It is the Network Associates Coliseum. It holds 47,313. It is ready to host the Minnesota Twins and the Oakland Athletics. Let's check out Tom Kelly's starting lineup. He will lead things off with his left fielder, Jock Jones. Batting second is Denny Hocking. Hitting third, Matt Lawton. Batting fourth, Ron Coomer. David Ortiz is the designated hitter. Then Matt LaCroix, Corey Koski, Torrey Hunter, and Jay Canizaro.
Well, on the mound, Kevin Appier coming back from a little problem in his elbow. April 24th, he hurt himself. This is his second start back. He pitched last week against Seattle, went 5 2/3. Kevin Appier doesn't have the same fastball that he had back in 92, 93, but still throwing 88 to 91, hard slider, and a good split-fingered fastball. That's mainly his out pitch. Still recovering, as I said, from that right forearm. Deceptive delivery. That deception puts a lot of pressure on his elbow and his shoulder. Really collapses the back leg, flies open with the front side, but at the same time, he gets hitters out. This guy is not the same pitcher he was in 92, 93, yet he still won 16 games a year ago and has been a good acquisition for Oakland.
Well, he has a very fine defense behind him. Eric Chavez has been one of the best third basemen in the American League early this year. Miguel Tejada, great range at short. Randy Velarde, back from the disabled list, a real leader at second base. Jason Giambi, much improved at first. Grieve, Long, Giambi in the outfield. Long has to be a fly catcher because Grieve and Giambi's speed is limited in the outfield, and Sal Fasano is a great catcher.
That's his guy, and that's the reason I circled him right there, is because Kevin Appier loves throwing to Fasano. He's the guy he wants. Appier worked with Sal Fasano in Kansas City.
He can really set a low target and block balls in the dirt very well, and with that split and slider, you'll see that tonight. There's Tom Kelly, won world championships in 1987 and 1991.
This is Kelly. This is a future Hall of Famer right here. That's Paul Molitor.
And he is simply listed as coach. Broadcaster last year, coach this year, and Molitor, a 3,000 hit guy. There's Art Howe of the Oakland Athletics. And Art Howe, born Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, went to the University of Wyoming, and now he hands that baseball to Kevin Appier. Oakland is 21-20. They're a game and a half out of first place in the American League West behind Seattle. Minnesota comes in at 17-24, 6 games behind Cleveland and Chicago. And there's a looping line drive to left field for a base hit. So Jock Jones continues his hot hitting after hitting .354 the last 2 weeks.
Number 7.
And Kevin Appier got that ball up, a couple of fastballs, and Jock Jones just dropped it into left field.
And those guys over at first base know each other. Jones went to the University of Southern California, and Giambi to Long Beach State. A couple of Southern California friends. Appier in his last start, he was the losing pitcher in the A's 6-4 loss to Seattle. And there's a strike to Denny Hocking. Here's a guy, Kevin, who will play every position on the field, and if they threw him a catcher's glove, he would go behind home plate.
Well, he's a great story, Denny Hocking. This guy was a 52nd round draft pick back in 1989, one of Tom Kelly's favorites because he just keeps his mouth shut and plays hard. He gets a chance to play quite frequently for Tom Kelly.
Well, I like the way you described that. That sounds like Sparky Anderson's kind of player. Sparky's theme was shut up and play.
That's what he does. No complaints. You know, some of these young guys complain that Kelly's too hard on them. You know, he gives everybody an opportunity, Tom Kelly does, and Denny Hocking got his opportunity. He's been in the big leagues a long time now.
Well, Tom told me last year, just sitting with him in his office, he said there's been simply too much patting on the back in Major League Baseball the last few seasons. You have to get it done in the big leagues.
I agree with him. And there's no doubt today with the expansion, guys move up to the big leagues a lot quicker than they did 25 or 30 years ago, even in Reggie Jackson's day. But I agree with what Tom Kelly said. There's just too much of that. You got to get it done up here.
Jones goes, the pitch is swung on and lined to left field for a hit. Racing to third is Jock Jones, and they will hold him there as Hocking is into second base with a double.
Well, that's going to be Tom Kelly's game. They don't have a lot of power. In fact, they're last in the American League in home runs. Tom Kelly makes things happen. He's been doing that for several years since the World Series days. Good jump at first base there by Jones. Kevin Appier is slow to the plate, and Denny Hocking just takes this ball the other way. Tries to hit the ball on the ground, a hit and run, and he executes it perfectly.
So now Minnesota has runners on second and third and nobody out in the first inning. Oakland has lost their last 2 ball games, and both by 1 run when they've been leading. I mean, they have had some heartbreaking losses. Oakland, 6 of their last 7 losses have been by 1 run, and they've had leads in those games of 4, 8, 5, 5, 4, and 3 runs. Lost them all. Here's Matt Lawton, and he takes a strike.
That's the first fastball that Apier's finally gotten down and away. Look at the numbers of Matt Lawton: 348, 3 home runs, 32 RBIs. And Sal Fasano goes out there right now to talk to Apier. Now they're going to give up a run. The infield's back, shortstop, second base, and first base. Chavez is even with the bag at third if Lawton hits one his way or even decides to lay one down. But in this situation, you're trying to hit the ball to the right side to get him over and get a run in.
He has Hocking at second base. You saw Jones at third. And here's Matt Lawton, who leads the club, tied with Ron Coomer for the RBI lead with 32. Upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. 435 with men in scoring position and a couple of home runs. And he has made a tremendous comeback from last year. He suffered a terrible eye injury.
And Matt has some power. He hit 21 home runs 2 years ago. Compact swing, strong.
The breaking ball stays upstairs.
And one of the reasons Apier's had problems with his shoulder, now his elbow recently, is because he flies open with that front side. We talked about that earlier. And when you do that, your tendency is to drop down and get the ball up. It also creates pressure on your elbow and shoulder.
He sneaks that on the inside corner, 2-2. But Lawton last year in a game against the Cincinnati Reds, Dennis Reyes threw a fastball up and in and caught him in the eye. It broke the right orbit bone, and he had some blurred vision. And when he came back, he couldn't see quite as well and only hit 259. They told him to just rest it in the offseason. And he's in a good rhythm here, and he's seeing the ball very well with a 348 average coming into this game.
Well, you know, that's one of the questions about pitching inside effectively, effective knockdown pitches. I remember Dennis Martinez hitting Kirby Puckett a few years ago, and it turned out that Kirby never was the same. So Matt Lawton's fortunate he's come back and able to see the ball like he is.
Great kid, 28 years old, from Gulfport, Mississippi. Jones at third, Hocking second base. Nobody out. Kevin Apier, the veteran. And Lawton sends a ground ball to Randy Velarde, so Matt does his job, particularly with 2 strikes on him. He gets Jones in from third base, and Minnesota takes an early 1-0 lead.
That's exactly what you're trying to do, and he's able to do it right there. Get him over, get him in, basically give yourself up. Just a short swing right there by Lawton. Great execution. That's typical Tom Kelly type play right there.
And now he has Hocking in scoring position also, with still just 1 out, a fly ball. The A's will bring their infield in. They want the play at the plate. We're early in the ball game, but you have Ron Coomer coming up. And Coomer right now in second place in RBIs with Minnesota, as Lawton just got his 33rd.
Well, obviously, Coomer's job right now is to hit the ball in the air and get the RBI through a sac fly with the infield in. Got power, 7 home runs, hitting 289. Good fastball right there by Apier, hit the outside corner. Ronnie just let it go. Now Apier likes to go to his slider when he gets ahead of the count.
Outside corner. So Kevin has come back with 2 quick strikes to Ron Coomer.
And both fastballs, no slider now. Now he can go slider, split. Looks like Coomer, when you see a guy take 2 fastballs, it looks like Coomer's looking for something other than the fastball.
You wonder if he really trusts that slider again. That was the pitch he got hurt on, the right forearm that put him on the disabled list.
Fasano wants the ball up right there, up and in on Coomer. Change the eyesight. That's what he did.
A couple of weeks back, Kevin Apier threw a 2-1 pitch to Tony Batista, a slider, and really felt pain in that right forearm. And
he thought he was done.
He was really scared. Came back, tried it the next start. Ooh. Did he go around? No, he did not. So now the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, that was the slider. The 1 there, Fasano giving different signs. He put the 1 down, and the 1 is the slider sign for Apier. There it is, outside corner. Saw the 3 sign he put down. That was a fastball sign. So Apier's mixed up his signs. Normally you see 1 fastball, 2 curve, 3 slider with a change.
A foul out of play. As you can tell, a lot of foul territory here at the Oakland Alameda Coliseum. They have more foul ground in this ballpark than in any park in the major leagues.
There it is. You can hang out there all day long. You got to have some speed if you're a first baseman in this park.
Well, that would be attractive to a lot of pitchers. They've had some good ones in the 1990s,
but you know,
1980s.
Because that's a complaint today, is that there's not enough foul territory in these new ballparks.
He popped him up right side, and look how much foul ground that Fasano has to work with. I mean, you're at Wrigley Field, and that's in the 3rd row.
All the new ballparks don't have that. Consequently, people are complaining. Well, that's why the batters get 2nd and 3rd chances, and they hit these home runs. There's no foul outs anymore, but here there is. Nice sequence by Apier. We'll take a look. Outside corner, Paint, fastball. Paint 0-2. Changes the eyesight, goes up and in, backs him off. Misses with the slider. Another slider up. That was a hanger. Got away with one. Then he got in on the hands. Good 2-seam movement in on the hands right there. Watch Fasano with that foul territory we're talking about. He gets the 2nd out.
So Apier with some clutch pitching with 1 out, and Denny Hocking at 3rd base gets the 2nd out. And now we'll face the designated hitter David Ortiz. Ortiz, a young kid that they've been bringing along, just 24 from the Dominican Republic, but he has tremendous power. Although Ortiz still looking for his first home run of the year. And Ortiz was a guy who hit 30 for Salt Lake City last season.
Yeah, when he came up in '98, he wasn't quite ready. He still hit 277. He hit a few home runs, but the year again in AAA really helped Ortiz develop his stroke.
Ortiz chops it off his foot. It wounds up in Eric Chavez's hand.
Well, I'll tell you, Apier was one of the best pitchers in the game back in '92, '93. He was dominating. I think he was one of the top 5 pitchers, at least in the American League and maybe in all of Major League Baseball. ERA was in the 2.4s, 2.5s. He would 18 games. He'd win 2-to-1 win to loss ratio. Didn't walk many guys, and then unfortunately a couple of years ago, as I said, he had shoulder surgery, and he really hasn't been quite the same. But he's working with the guy he likes in Sal Fasano, and boy, Sal's been out there a couple of times trying to save this run.
300th career game, and there's the fastball that runs high and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to David Ortiz. This is his 11th year in the big leagues. I remember his best season, 1993, where some thought Kevin deserved the Cy Young Award over Jack McDowell of the Chicago White Sox.
And he was dominating.
Hit sharply off the glove of Chavez. Hocking will score, and it's 2-0 Minnesota. If the error is charged to Eric, it will only be his 5th this year, and that's among the top 3 in American League third baseman. But it looked like he had a good shot.
Well, they give him a hit, I believe. This ball up in the zone. Ortiz stays inside it, shoots it. 1 hopper. Chavez tries to backhand it, went right in the glove and out. It just got on him too quickly with little English. He did the right thing trying to back up on that hop. They just couldn't steal it. You can't charge that one.
Well, they are going to charge him with an error.
Well, they saw a replay. Said, you know,
They had a lot of spin on it, too. Regardless, a run scores and Minnesota has a 2-0 lead. And here's Matt LaCroix. Big, good-looking catcher from South Carolina. And he goes after the first pitch and lines it to center field. Base hit. So the rookie LaCroix comes through. 2 on for Minnesota, has 3 hits off Kevin Apier in this game.
Watch the location right here, outside corner, but pretty straight. And LaCroix just stays right on it. There's no movement on that pitch, and that's why LaCroix was able to hit it. And Kevin Apier normally has a lot of movement on his 2-seam fastball, 4-seam power fastball. All have a tendency to look like it's going to rise. Rick Peterson out there right now to talk to Kevin, make sure he's okay. 22 pitches in this inning so far, 15 for strikes. But not much movement, and a lot of his balls have been up tonight so far.
Again, he's just coming off the disabled list, just his 3rd start since the DL. Showed you about that right forearm, so you wonder if he's getting the full snap on his slider.
As you mentioned it earlier, he thought he was done. I talked to some of the people today in Oakland. He thought when that happened April 24th that it was going to be one of those ligament transplant surgeries and his career was over. He was really fortunate. It turned out to be a muscle strain in the elbow. And so you're absolutely right. Only a second start back. You've got to be a little tentative.
4 walks in 5 2/3 in his last game. Hasn't walked a man in this first inning, but 3 hits and an error, and 2 runs have scored. And here comes Corey Koski.
That looked like the split. That one going down on the way to the lefties. That's from Kevin Napier. That was his out pitch back in the early 90s. He would throw that, and guys would just chase that thing. They couldn't lay off him.
Koski fouls it out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. And what's tough for Kevin Napier, before Matt LaCroix went after that first pitch fastball, Ortiz and Coomer both had 2 strikes on them.
That's right.
2 counts.
And Kevin used to put you away. He'd throw that split or that devastating hard slider that was tough to pick up with his delivery. And guys would just chase balls down in the dirt on him.
That 93 season when he had the lowest earned run average in the American League at 2.56. He also struck out 186 in 239 innings. That's when he was a strikeout pitcher. 32 years old now, from Lancaster, California. Went first to Fresno State, then to Antelope Valley Junior College. His pitching coach, Rick Peterson, a little concerned about the first inning trouble. And there's a line drive in the gap, right center field. That will drop. In comes Ortiz to make it 3-0. Going to second base, Koski, and the ball gets away.
Now that last pitch was inside but straight. No movement for Kevin Napier right there. And that's why the hitter, Koski, put a good swing on. Take a look. Watch the location. Trying to go in. Look how straight. Just right there. Right off the inside corner. Look at that. That's where it is. And he gets his head down on the ball. There's just no movement on that pitch. And Koski's able to fight that thing into center field for the base hit.
Center field.
And velocity is down. It's 87, 88 versus normally Kevin, when he was going good in the 90s, he was throwing 92, 93 consistently with movement.
A lot of Minnesota Twins are breaking out of slumps in this ball game.
And even that pitch right there, that's just a hanging slider. There's no real sharp downward break to that.
Here's Torrey Hunter, the 8th Twin to hit in this first inning. Good fastball, 0-2, but the Twins had a lot of guys slumping. Hocking was 4 for 25 before his double in this inning. Matt LaCroix 4 for 37 before his base hit. Corey Koski was 1 for 15, and he just slammed one into right field to drive in a run, his 12th this year. 2 on, 3rd and 2nd, and there is a swing and a miss. But Kevin Napier gives up 3 runs in the top of the first inning, and Minnesota takes the early lead at Oakland. Steve Physiak, Kevin Kennedy at Network Associates Coliseum in Minnesota with an early 3-0 lead as they sent 8 men to the plate in the top of the first inning. Well, let's check out the starting lineups that Art Howe took to home plate. He will lead things off with Terrence Long as center fielder. Batting second, Randy Velarde. Hitting third, Jason Giambi. Already 16 home runs this year and 20 driven in May. Olmedo Saenz is the designated hitter. Then Ben Grieve, Miguel Tejada, brother Jeremy Giambi, Eric Chavez, and Sal Fasano.
And on the mound, Mark Redmond making his 3rd start of the year. 6'5", 220 pounds. He was #1 out of the University of Oklahoma back in '95. Fastball, curveball, changeup is the best pitch. Not a hard thrower. Actually a below average fastball, about 83, 84. Control pitcher. Only walked 7 men so far this year in 28+ innings. And he's still learning in the big leagues.
Not a bad record and a low earned run average of 3.14. 7 walks in 28 2/3, and he has a strong defense because Tom Kelly insists that his team throw strikes and catch the ball, and they do that quite well. Defensively, Koski at third base, Hocking short, Canizaro second, Coomer first. LaCroix will catch Redmond. The outfield has Jones, Lawton at the flanks, and Torrey Hunter, who has an excellent arm in center field. 4 assists already this year. Here is Terrence Long having a difficult time in the homestand with just 2 hits and 21 at bats to lower his average to 259. That's low. 2 balls and no strikes. Redmond, 26 years old, out of San Diego, California, but went to the University of Oklahoma, where he was an All-American there and a College World Series hero. I mean, that's when the Sooners won the national championship, and he was the guy who led them.
And he's a guy that they tell us has a lot of poise and a lot of confidence. Very smooth delivery, very fluid, doesn't get out of control.
Pops up Terrence Long. Left side, Denny Hocking calling everybody off. 1 out. Well, it's time now for a Fox Sports Net game break. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Philadelphia Phillies. The story tonight is Big Mac. Mark hits 3 home runs tonight. First inning, a 3-run home run off Curt Schilling. Second inning, a 2-run home run off Curt Schilling. Then in the 8th inning, he comes up, and it's a 2-run home run off reliever Wayne Gomes. The Cards win this one 7-2, and Mark McGwire now with 17 home runs to lead everybody in baseball.
Do you have any doubt?
Golly, he's something. And he missed, what, 9-10 games because of the back injury?
That's right. He's going to catch Mike Schmidt's 548 here pretty soon. Another week or so.
Well, one of his best friends in the game is right there, Jason Giambi, and he's right behind Big Mac with 16. Ivan Rodriguez with 16. He's been on fire. That's our top flight major league home run leaders. Here's Randy Velarde, who was injured until just last week when he came off the disabled list. Had a left knee problem in spring training. This guy is a really solid second baseman. A real leader in the clubhouse, on the field. A guy, what do you call a gamer?
Well, there's some fear, Steve, and you know better than anybody, being with broadcasting the Angels games, that this guy's career was almost over a couple of years ago.
With that right forearm problem.
Came back, had a great year last year.
Over 200 hits, and he pops this one up right side. And the catch is made by Matt Lawton in right field for the second out. Well, coming to the plate now, Jason Giambi from West Covina, California, 29 years young, and my goodness, is he having a terrific start. 16 home runs already, and we're in mid-May. I mean, he's going for the all-time Oakland record. Mark McGwire has it in 87 and 97 with 19 home runs until the end of May.
Yeah, we see his numbers, 16 home runs, 47 RBIs. The thing I like about him, he's got 35 walks, and he's only struck out 27 times. That's a lot like Mark McGwire. That 1-to-1 walk-to-strikeout ratio for a power hitter, that's fantastic.
He makes you throw strikes, and then he swings them.
He's going to pass those 99 numbers in another 2 weeks or so.
Come on. You know, we were talking about the 1970s, of course, in our open, and Reggie Jackson, you were telling me, what was it, the one year he had 47 home runs? He had almost 35 at the break.
He had like 30, 32 or 33, something like that at the break. And it's so, any power hitter will tell you it's so much tougher to hit it in the second half of the year.
Well, you can't see much pressure in the major leagues than 2 years ago in Major League Baseball. McGwire and Sosa battling, and they reached 70 to 66, but Giambi grounds out, and Redmond very sharp to start his first inning. Have 3, the Athletics nothing, and the A's have 2 errors to boot. So Kevin Appier wants a little stronger second inning from himself and his defense, and back up the middle on the first pitch, Jay Cannizzaro lines it up the middle. Well, Minnesota's going to need some runs because their pitching staff is very, very young, and they give up a lot of runs, and you know all about Oakland's offense, the #1 scoring team in the American League. That's our fogdog.com key matchup.
#2 in the American League for Oakland in home runs was 63. On base percentage is at the top of the league. And the pitching is 6, and that's why they're holding their own in their division, only a game and a half out of first.
Well, they're going after the first pitch thrown by Kevin Appier.
And he's had a pattern in this game so far. The first 8 hitters are throwing at first 9 hitters, a lot of first pitch fastball, so Kevin starts out right there with the breaking ball.
How about this? 10 batters faced, 8 first pitch strikes.
And most of those strikes are base hits.
Exactly.
Fastballs away to right-handed hitters hitting for base hits.
LaCroix, Hosky, Canizaro, first pitch hit. Rick Peterson, Art Howe together in that Oakland dugout. Oakland, one of the teams expected to contend really in the American League West this year, and that ball is put foul and out of play by Jacques Jones. Oakland made such a good recovery last year, going 87-75, a 13-game improvement over 1998, and the best turnaround in the American League. This year, 1 over 500, but only 2.5 games separate first from last place in the West. The Wild West.
And I think it's going to stay like that. I think all these teams are evenly matched. I don't think it's going to be more than 5 or 6 games that separates 1 through 4 when it's done.
Giambi had a chance for the double play and throws it into left field. So that's the 3rd error on the Oakland A's in this game.
Take a look at Giambi right here. He's got the ball, squares up, a little bit 3/4. The ball just sails away from Tejada and on into center field. A little kind of a sidearm to 3/4 throw, and when you do that, the ball has a tendency to sail instead of getting on top and throwing that strike. He had a good angle on it. And Art Howe cannot be too pleased at the start of this ball game because most people are telling you when you play the Twins, you're supposed to beat the Twins, but Tom Kelly's team is pretty feisty. Can't take these guys for granted.
27 unearned runs, though, this year. So Art Howe's defense has really labored. Giambi's improved a lot at first base, but didn't show it there. And they have very average speed on the flanks and the outfield. Terrence Long is a newcomer to center field. There's Jones at first base. They might send him. And again, a first pitch swing by Denny Hocking, and he knocks in another run. It is a second double by Denny Hocking in this game, and Minnesota takes a 4-0 lead. The first 3 batters of this inning have all swung at the first pitch.
We're talking, Steve, about first ball, fastball hitting, and that's what the Twins are doing. Look at the pitch. Look how high this pitch is. Up in the zone. Hocking just hacks at it and shoots it the other way. Puts his hands inside the ball, take another look, and shoots it over Eric Chavez's head. It's like the hit and run in the first inning where the ball went down the third base line. Hocking goes the same way again. And again, the ball is up. There's not a lot of movement. And Apier obviously is not the same guy that we've seen in the past.
So Hocking with a pair of doubles in this game. And Apier goes with that split finger pitch. And so that's the first batter in this inning who's not swung at the first pitch. Matt Lawton coming to the plate. He grounded out to drive in a run his first time up, and again Oakland will play him like they did first inning with runners in second and third, infield back. They will give up a run to keep away from a big inning.
Well, the way Oakland can score runs, that's exactly right. They could put up a 3-spot with a 3-run home run in a hurry.
Lawton fouls it out of play.
So they'll probably do the same thing. If Lawton gets the job done, getting the runner in, getting the man over to third, they'll probably play infield in again and try not to get down 6-0. Right now it's 4. And they'll give up one more here, but that's about it. You can't go much past being down 5-0 early.
Jones at third, Hocking second base. Nobody out, second inning. Minnesota already with 4. Lawton tried to check his swing. They will appeal, and he went around.
Well, that's what hitters used to do to Apier back in the middle 90s, early 90s. They would swing at the slider, swing at the split. They just couldn't let up on it because it was so sharp. And that was a pretty good one right there. Should go right back to it.
Inside, 2-2. Well, when you check out the Toyota hits leaders, Matt Lawton right there with 54. He's 12 behind the American League leader Darren Erstad of Anaheim. Rodriguez has been unbelievable the last 2 weeks, hitting home runs and clutch home runs.
You're right. I didn't think Butch could have a better year than his MVP year of last year, but he is.
Inside. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes to Matt Lawton, and Apier furious with himself, 1 pitch away from loading the bases. That's his first 3-ball count in this game.
Yeah, pretty good sequence so far from Apier. You'll see 3-2 now after throwing the fastball inside. If he goes back to that split, try to get a strikeout.
And he got it.
Yep. That's the Apier we knew in the past. That's what he's got to do as long as his elbow feels fine. I mean, he can do it. This guy can still be an effective pitcher. It's a big strikeout right there.
Now Art Howe coming out, and he wants to make sure that Kevin is all right.
Watch the drop on this pitch. That's his split. Watch this thing fade down and away to the left-handed hitters. That's patented Kevin Apier split finger fastball. But Howe's not convinced that Kevin is healthy enough. I really don't believe. Or he's talking right now about what he wants to do with Coomer.
Well, he's such a big part of their success. If they are to contend in the American League West, right now Seattle's in first place, and they're doing it without Jamie Moyer and without Fred Garcia. Apier won 16 games last year in the big leagues.
Right now what they're talking about is defensive strategy. Whether to put Coomer on, you feel better facing David Ortiz to get the ground ball double play, or do you want to have a shot at getting Ron Coomer out, your 289 hitter with 7 home runs? That's what the discussion was about. That's why the infield was all there at the mound.
And Coomer's been hot, hitting 345 the last week, while Ortiz is not only a 188 average, although he reached on an error his first time up, and they will intentionally pass him.
Yeah, I like that from Art Howe because he didn't put on the pitching coach. He went out there and made the decision to talk to his pitcher, Kevin Apier, and give him the respect. Hey, Kevin, what do you feel better doing? I don't want to just take it out of your hands right now and put you in a situation with bases loaded, 1 out, where you have to throw strikes. How do you feel about it? Kevin said, yeah, let's do it. I feel good getting Ortiz out. Normally, Apier is very strong against left-handed hitters, getting him out because he's got that good split-fingered fastball.
Well, I have the opportunity to work with not only a baseball but a 70s music genius in Kevin Kennedy. We've got Sports Geniuses coming your way, a new game show that tests your sports IQ. That's weeknights at 6 and 11 on Fox Sports Net. And here we are at Network Associates Coliseum. Man, I couldn't believe the number of tunes that you were able to name right off the top of your head on the drive over here.
Not with those clothes we had on earlier. we really didn't wear those over, folks.
We burned them at Haight-Ashbury earlier this afternoon.
We were put up to that.
His initials are Jerry Weinstein, our
That's
producer.
Right. Take a hit, J-Dub.
Well, here is Ortiz, reached on the error by the third baseman Chavez back in the first. Minnesota has scored a run, but they have a man out now, and Kevin Apier can stop the bleeding. Ortiz just rips it foul. I mean, he hooked that one so badly. A lot of top hand in that one.
Fastball in that Apier got in enough. That's a good location right there. Talk about pitching in today. You got to get it in there. Don't leave it out over the heart of the plate. That was a good pitch. He forced Ortiz to pull that foul. There's no way you can get that last pitch and shoot it fair. And
Bases loaded.
And now Stevie's got the split finger right there that he can throw and get that strikeout if he wants.
Ortiz did not go around. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Boy, that is tough to take. Looks like fastball. You want to start your swing, and then the bottom drops out of it.
That's right. Looks like a fastball. Try to hold up. Ooh, that's close.
Would you come back with that pitch?
I'd come right back with it because they're teeing off on the fastball right now. The fastball is straight. I come right back with it. That's what he struck Lawton out on. That's what I come right back right now. They need a strikeout or a ground ball to second. The split can do either one.
Popped him up.
We'll take that too.
Fasano. 2 outs.
Good call by Fasano. Came right back with the split. Ortiz got out in front and underneath the pitch, trying to keep off the ground. Instead, he popped it straight up. Look at Fasano sitting inside. There's the split. And just a sweeping swing at it. Shoots it straight up, and there's that foul territory again. That ball's foul in Packville Park across the bay here in San Francisco, but not here in Oakland. Out number 2.
For the last time Apier faced Matt LaCroix, he went after the first pitch and singled to center field. He takes inside this time as Apier went up and in. With 2 outs, Apier had trouble in the first inning with back-to-back hits by LaCroix and then Koski. That is chopped down the third base line. 1-1.
Kevin really going to the splits and sliders and doing the right thing. He's got to get out of this inning. You get 2 outs, you still have the bases loaded, you're not out of the woods. He's got to bear down right now, get the final out. And then the momentum swings back to Oakland's way, even though they're down 4-0. If he can get out of this inning right here. Like I said, Oakland get those runs back in a hurry the way they swing the bat.
He hits it to Chavez. Eric across the diamond in time, and Apier gets out of further trouble. He had runners in second and third with nobody out, and nobody scored. He did give up a run early in the inning on the double by Hocking. It's 4-0 Twins. The vision that is San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge. That connects Marin to the city. And then you cross over the Bay Bridge and come to Networks Associates Coliseum in Oakland, California, where the Oakland Athletics are taking on the Minnesota Twins. And it's the Twins 4, the A's nothing. Steve Physioc, psychedelic with Cosmo Kevin Kennedy.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, I know. At least you've got that horrible wig off.
Oh, boy.
Hey, didn't you buy it at that stand right there?
Yeah, but he doesn't.
We're in the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Olmedo Signs, Ben Grieve, and Miguel Tejada. First pitch curveball, strike one. And they tell me, Tom Kelly, if Mark Redmond can get that curveball over, he has such a good changeup and good location on his fastball, he'll be tough to hit. Ground ball hit to third. Koski has it. 1 out. And our producer Jerry Weinstein is telling us, in case you missed our open, this was us.
Oh, boy.
Oh my gosh. I look better than you do, though.
Boy.
I look like Sally Struthers.
You know, the thing is,
you look like Oscar Gamble.
I never wore that stuff when it was in.
I know. Believe me, it was never in. And we've been out for a long time.
It was up here.
Ground ball hit to short. Redmond making quick work of the Oakland A's.
You're absolutely right. Only 12 pitches in the first inning. A couple of quick outs right here in inning number 2.
Mark Redmond goes 6'5", 220 pounds. You'd think he'd have a great fastball with that size. You're saying right around 85 miles an hour, but his location has been sharp. And that changeup and curveball good.
Number 4, Miguel Tejada.
He's got that 2-seam, the sinking fastball that he throws. All pitchers throw that 4-seam occasionally. And he mixes in a big overhand curve and that changeup. He's able to pitch behind the count and throw the off-speed stuff. That's what's important in the major leagues.
Fastball outside corner to Miguel Tejada for a strike. Tejada, after a fine beginning, has been slumping lately. Just a 190 average in his last 10 games. Now batting .261, but this guy has some pop. 5 home runs this year and 21 last year.
And great range at shortstop with a plus arm. His problem defensively is boots too many routine plays and throws them away. That's what Ronnie Washington, the third base coach of the A's, is kind of been working on with Tejada. This guy's one of those great young shortstops in the American League. There's Ronnie.
Well, Miguel, really a young kid. I mean, he won't even turn 24 until the 25th of this month. 1 week away. He pops it up. And you always have to make sure because there's so much foul ground, but that is about 5 rows up beyond the screen.
Take about 15 points off your batting average if you're a home team player in this ballpark.
Well, I remember late 80s, early 90s when Dave Stewart, Mike Moore, and Bob Welch were throwing. Bob Welch won 27 games, and he is a strikeout fly ball pitcher, so he was getting a lot of pop-ups in foul territory. In the air, right field. This should do it for the second inning. Matt Lawton takes care of Miguel Tejada. That does it for Oakland in the bottom of the second inning. Corey Koski, Torrey Hunter, Jay Cannizzaro coming up. Ugly numbers for the Oakland Athletics, and they're hoping to contend in the American League West. They were a great home team last year, but Art Howe's club has one of the worst home records in the American League this season.
You're right. 9-13, only 400 ball at home. And you've got to play above 500 at home, and 500 on the road is good. They are 12-7 on the road this year.
Kevin, they were 23 games above 500 last year. 52 home wins last year, only 29 losses. And they're quickly down to Minnesota 4-0. Minnesota came in with a record of 17-24, and so many young kids like Corey Koski. Koski's a guy who's only 26. He's out of Manitoba. 26th round pick in 1994.
See, I like when I hear that 26th round pick making it to the big leagues. June draft coming up here pretty soon. We just talked about Denny Hocking earlier being a 52nd round pick. He's got several years in the big leagues now, so just keep working hard. You can play for a man like that, Tom Kelly.
That ball is laced to left field, and Koski has his second hit of the game. Greaves slips on the turf, and cruising into second base is Koski. Well, that's certainly not the fault of Ben Grieve. They shouldn't give him the fourth error. Ben just slipped in the turf, and you can't.
But it was the fault of Appier. Watch the pitch. It's up in the zone again, belt high. All the Twins hitters just really use their hands where they stay inside the ball. Ben Grieve goes to backhand it and just slips. The right foot goes to plant and slips. And you're right. It's uncontrollable right there. Some wet turf. Or damp.
So another Minnesota Twin in scoring position at second base with nobody out. But the Oakland Athletics had runners on second and third defensively, and the Twins had nobody out, and after scoring a run they couldn't get another run. They had runners at second and third after scoring a run. They intentionally walked a man, and Appier really settled down. Well, that ball is laced to Miguel Tejada for a line out. Time again for a Fox Sports Net game break. We've got the Baltimore Orioles at the Texas Rangers in Arlington. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning, Baltimore's leading 7-5. David Segui hits this B.J. Ryan pitch to deep left center for a 3-run home run. The Rangers have an 8-7 lead in the bottom of the 7th.
Turned out to be a good deal for Texas getting David Segui.
Boy, he passed Darren Erstad for the American League in batting just 1 week ago before Erstad got it back. And how about Baltimore? Last night they lost in the bottom of the 9th inning on a Scott Spezio, former Oakland A, line drive up the middle as the Angels beat Baltimore, and the bullpen letting them down again. Baltimore's bullpen, I think the last 2 weeks had an ERA over 10. Here's Jay Cannizzaro. He was released by San Francisco at the end of spring training, picked up by Minnesota, and he was the Twins minor league player of the month, hitting .362 in April. How about this situation? Cannizzaro up, Todd Walker, first round pick from years ago, down, and Todd wants to be traded.
Yeah, he had some complaints about Tom Kelly not handling him right, but you know what? I go back. Manager gives you an opportunity, you don't do the job. You know, when Walker was sent down, he said, well, I know I'm not the quickest guy and I'm not the best guy in the world, the best fielder. And Kelly said, well, then you're telling me you have some shortcomings, don't you? And that's why Tom sent him out.
Walker can hit. He had .316 one season, but he has fallen ever since offensively. And there's a guy, Todd Walker, who broke most of Albert Bell's records at LSU.
But you got to do it up here. The game's on the line. How many runs? When are you driving your runs in? Are you hitting the ball when you're up down 11-0 or up 11-0? You know, a guy like Todd Walker, he's got to produce in key situations, and Kelly isolates that. And if you're not going to play for him.
Chavez with a tough play, throws out Cannizzaro by a step.
Tom Kelly likes guys that can execute. Watch the play by Chavez. He executes right here. Boy, he's third in the league in fielding. This chopper was hit off in front of the plate on the run and gets him by a half step.
The batter, left fielder, Doc Jones.
Second among AL third basemen. Eric Chavez. Tough error in the first inning when he had. One hopper off his glove.
Now Jacques Jones. Well, Apier has really pitched well after getting into trouble in that second inning. He gave up the leadoff double to Hocking, but got Hunter in the lineup. Carazano on the ground out. Now sends a ground ball in the hole. Past Velarde. I spoke too soon. As a base hit scores, Corey Hocking.
Now you really can't control that. He did hit the ball on the ground. He just found the hole in the seam on the right side. And Velarde just couldn't quite get to it. Jock Jones drives the runner. But Apier has gone away from any fastballs, going to the slider and the split when it was right there. And Jock Jones just got a good swing at it, just missed it. Velarde just dove over it.
So Minnesota has a 5-0 lead in the third. They scored 3 runs in the first, 1 in the second, now 1 in the third. Jones went early in the game, first inning, when Denny Hocking was at the plate. And Hocking is up there again. He's twice gone to left field and sharply. And catches the inside corner. 0-1.
Well, Denny Hocking has hit 2 balls into left field for doubles, and he's taken that high fastball that Apier is throwing and kept his hands really inside the ball. That last pitch just was paint on the inside corner. No way you can hit that pitch, and Hocking let it go.
Denny rips it to right field, and that's a base hit. Jeremy Giambi looked over at the first base umpire. He immediately ruled no catch. It was a trap. So runners on first and second for Minnesota in the third.
Well, take a look at Denny Hocking in the first inning. This is a hit and run play put on right away. Second batter of the ball game. Fastball up and away. He goes with it down the third baseline for a double. Second inning, fastball up and away. He goes inside it. Then a left field line again. Now Apier decides to go in. Actually, he's trying to go away, mislocation. Look at Fasano. He mislocation down and in, and he shoots a single into right field as Jeremy Giambi short hops it. 3 for 3 for Denny Hocking.
And I would imagine you come out of the box and you're already 2 for 2, and you're screaming at that baseball, get down, get down.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're 3 for 3 after 3 innings. You're talking about, hey, I got a 5-hit night coming. Got about 3 more at bats coming here.
Luis Vizcaino has started to warm up in the Oakland Athletics bullpen.
This guy with a good arm, Vizcaino, 94, 95 fastball. Art Howe. I've been there, Art. I know the feeling. You got to have that starting pitching. And you'd like to have your ace. This guy at one time was really an ace. Rick Peterson out there. Rick's a very, very technical pitching coach. Really big on how to get hitters out, pitching to location. He'll break down mechanics as well. They're giving Luis Vizcaino some time to warm up down there. Look at the pitches. 65 pitches already. Yep. You made a good point. 9 hits right there in 2 2/3. When Kevin Apier was on in the, as we mentioned, in the 90s, I mean, he pitched 200 innings, give up about 160 hits. Last year, he gave up 230 hits in 200 innings. So they're seeing the ball pretty good these days off Apier.
Well, you know, when there's that separation from fastball to split finger, the split finger, what is about 83, and his fastball's about 88. In the old days, it was 95.
That's right.
Down to 83.
That's exactly right. And not as much movement, not quite as sharp. Arm injuries take their toll. And Kevin doesn't have the smoothest mechanics in the world from a technical standpoint. He really flies open with that front shoulder. It's a lot of stress on it, a lot of effort to throw the ball to home plate. It can be deceptive at times, but it also puts the pressure on your elbow and your shoulder. And that's why he's finally had some injuries after all these years.
Well, the way he tumbles off the mound looks like that old New York Yankee with that handlebar mustache, Goose Gossage.
That's right.
Pickoff play at second base. Getting back in time, Jock Jones. Jones at second, Hocking first. Minnesota threatening for more as they scored 5 runs in the first 3 innings. 2 outs, though. And their hottest hitter, Matt Lawton, at the plate. Came in at 348, 0 for 2, though, so he's dropped 4 points to 344. And he laces that one, but right at Randy Velarde. Another run comes home for Minnesota. It's 5-0 Twins. The Minnesota Twins with a 5-0 lead over the Oakland Athletics. Bottom of the third inning. Kevin Appier has labored this entire game.
Yeah, and Kevin Appier, I want to show his mechanics from the angle right here at third base, where you can see what he does with his front shoulders. Now, he gets a good leg drive right there, but watch the front shoulder and the glove side right there. I mean, you've got a tough angle right there. You're throwing uphill. Look at his head. He's really looking here, and you're trying to throw the ball down, and that's tough to get the ball down when you do that. Your elbow drops and the ball comes up, and it puts a lot of pressure on that elbow when you do that.
Pitching coach Rick Peterson watching him now, talking with Sal Fasano, Kevin's catcher. 9 hits off Appier in the first 3 innings of this game, and Oakland has done nothing against Mark Redmond in his first 2 innings. But remember, the A's with a mighty offense. Most runs scored in the American League. 259 runs coming in.
It's a nice little curveball just flipped over there to Jason Giambi for strike 1. Redmond really looks good early in this game.
Then he comes with that fastball, about 86 miles an hour.
He's the type of guy as a hitter, we're facing Redmond tonight, doesn't throw hard, let's grab him back, and all he does is keep getting you out.
Tell you, I don't think that John Halama throws very hard for the Seattle Mariners, but he threw a 4-hit shutout at Minnesota last night, and every single time I've seen Halama pitch,
that's right,
you get an idea that kid knows how to.
I've seen John a lot. He's got that good curveball, he sinks the ball, he throws the changeup, keeps you off balance, and all he does is get you out and gives you a nice 0 for 4.
The count's even 2-2. This might be the first 2-2 count Redmond has had to anybody.
Well, he's only thrown 20 pitches, 13 for strikes coming into this inning. So he now has 24 pitches, low pitch count. Very smooth in his delivery.
Jeremy Giambi laces one foul. Will stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes. But left-handers have had a rough time against Redmond early this year. Lefties only hitting 192 off. Right-handers 279. Jeremy Giambi, the brother of Jason. They went deep in the same game for the first time in their career. Joined 9 other sets of brothers to do that. Tom and Hank Aaron have done it the most often.
I was talking to Jeremy in spring training, or Jason, excuse me, in spring training. I said, how's it to have your brother Jeremy on the club with you? He goes, well, he's on scholarship. I'm taking care of him.
So he redshirted him last year with Kansas City, huh?
They live together, but he's on scholarship. So Jason picks up all the bills.
Well, he threw the baseball. The fan threw the baseball back on the field. What was that all about?
I don't know, but these guys look a lot alike. Oh, wait a minute.
He comes in his shirt and tie. He's about ready to be thrown out of the ball game by security. You can't do that. Hey, remember what happened with the Dodgers and Cubs the other day?
I don't get that. I don't get what happened in Wrigley either. I don't get what this guy just did. You got the glove. You got it for a reason. It's like throwing fish back, or what is it? You catch the fish, you throw them back.
That's a base hit to left field. The first off Redmond, and Jeremy Giambi comes through. Boy, going over and getting that baseball quickly was Jack Jones to hold Giambi to just 1 base.
Nice piece of hitting by Jeremy Giambi. Got a pitch down and away. Didn't try to pull it, just shot it into left field. Take a look right here. Watch it. Going away. Redmond trying to go away. Gets the ball away, and Giambi just shoots it into left field. Didn't try to pull it. Didn't try to do too much. Got his hands inside it. Got the head of the bat on it. Good contact. Hey, do you suppose Fizz, the guy he was trying out for the Twins, they want to show off the arm? I think that's what
maybe that was it. He got it all the way out to second base.
Got a good arm.
But I have no idea what he was thinking about. And that ball hit high in the air, right field. Matt Lawton. 1 out. Well, the last word means Jim Rome is ready to talk. And Jim and his guests discuss the pros and cons of realignment in Major League Baseball. Romy will be joined by Commissioner Bud Selig, Diamondbacks owner Jerry Colangelo, and Devil Rays owner Vince Namola. That's tonight at 11:30 on Fox Sports Net. And I would imagine they'll be talking about Jerry unhappy to be going to the American League and Vince delighted to accept the position in the National League.
That'll be an interesting show tonight with that trio.
Here's Sal Fasano.
Good off speed right there, first pitch. That's one thing about Redmond, and you notice in this ball game, not too many first pitch fastballs. Not afraid to throw curveball, sinker, or changeup first pitch.
Well, you can see by his numbers, he is known for his defense. He's an outstanding defensive catcher, but just a career .219 hitter coming into the season. Although he really unloaded with power in the AAA ranks last year with the Kansas City Royals. Hit 21 home runs in only 88 games. Redmond brings the 0-2, and it is popped foul. Coomer giving chase. Second row.
The trolley car, that far.
You're right. And it would have cost you 2 quarters instead of 1, because that was a fur piece.
Get your wind sprints in.
Yeah.
Look at Coomer giving it chase. Got a 60-yard dash. Didn't get thrown back at least.
That's what I like about the new ballparks, though, Kevin. The fans are closer to the field. I mean, you get a real good look at the ball players. You can hear them talk.
You like it until you see what happened in Wrigley. I like it
I
too.
didn't like that either, but I'll be honest with you. That never should happen. I mean, that's going to wind up being a $25,000 baseball cap.
Yeah, you saw what Sandy Alderson said about it. He said there's no excuse at any time for players to go into the stands. And we don't know the whole story really about it, but it didn't look good.
Popped him up again, so that changeup and that high fastball working right now. And Corey Koski takes care of Sal Fasano for the second out.
I really think the new ballparks, I like them too, being closer. Pac-Bell Park across the bay here, home plate to the plate to the fans behind home plate is closer than the mound is to the batter's box. And I think it's great for the fans. Most of the parks are fan friendly, and if you've got the right security, things like what happened tonight in Wrigley just shouldn't happen.
No, but that's what you have security for, and security should have gotten to that guy earlier than they did.
Well, you can't have security near your home dugout when the one you want it for is the visitor's dugout and the visitor's side.
I'm just thinking that.
And that's where they were.
You know
they
what
were
happens
running from the home dugout.
When you become an adult, you become a role model. That's just part of the job. And if you're out there drinking too many beers, acting like an idiot, you need to be asked to leave. That ball is shot to right center field. Lawton will not reach this one. It bounces back well for Matt, but they will send the runner Giambi. And he will score, and Oakland has their first run. Terrence Long with a laser beam to right field.
Well, it hasn't rained here in Oakland, but the outfielders are slipping on that turf out there. Let's take a look at the pitch from Retman. Down and in. Nice swing put on by Terrence Long into the gap in right center field. Lawton tries to make the play, and watch him slip, much like Ben Grieve did earlier, and that was just enough to allow the run to score.
And if he comes up with it cleanly, I think they've got a real good shot at Jeremy Giambi.
Well, the way the Twins like to play defense, and Kelly emphasizes this, hitting the cutoff man, they were in good alignment. They had a shot at him. You're right.
If he doesn't slip, the way the ball hit the wall, bounced right back to Matt, but then he slipped. And Giambi was about a third of the way past second base at the time. There's that changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Redmond has given up his first run of the game. And Mark has pitched well this year. His best start was 2 starts ago when he beat Detroit 6-1, gave up only 1 run in 7 innings and scattered 8 hits. Randy Velarde takes a shot and rips it to left. Deep. Gone.
Well, that's what we talked about. You keep this game close. The Oakland A's, with the power they have, 63 home runs coming into this game, second in the American League. They can get back in a hurry. Look at the location, up in the zone and out over the plate, about letter high. Huge mistake for Redmond, and with a lack of velocity like he has, that's a little breaking ball that just didn't break. Hanger goes for the home run.
Oakland right back in it.
Talk about the home runs in Major League Baseball today. Most of them are really mistakes that are being hit. You could talk about small ballparks and expansion and everything else, but it's just lack of good location. You just don't see the good pitchers giving them up like that.
Well, Greg Maddux today had a terrific pitching duel with the San Francisco Giants, and Sean Estes, their left-hander. Maddux wound up winning his 5th game this year, but his location absolutely magnificent. Redmond comes inside to Jason Giambi and has the count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's the difference between the major leagues and the minor leagues, though. A major league hitter does not miss a mistake. It gets hit and gets hit hard. And most of the time, the mistakes that are up, they get hit out of the ballpark.
The 2-2 pitch. Giambi swings and misses, striking out. Well, Randy Velarde puts Oakland right back in this ball game with his 3rd home run of the year. A hanging breaking ball, and he knocks it out. Top of the 4th inning, the Minnesota Twins with a 5-3 lead over the Oakland Athletics. Kevin Apier has been knocked out of the ball game, and Tom Kelly hoping his pitcher Mark Redmond can hold them. The righties have been 2 for 7. It's the left-handers who have jumped all over Kevin Apier and knocked him out of the ball game.
And most of the time they're on fastballs up. Look at the location of these pitches. These are up in the zone. This is up in the zone. And Kevin Apier is not throwing as many splits as he would like against the lefties. And part of that, Steve, may be the elbow problem that he had a few weeks ago. Just not comfortable throwing quite as many. So he's out of the ball game.
And Luis Vizcaíno comes in, 19 hits allowed, 2 home runs, 14 strikeouts in 16 innings. And Vizcaíno, who will turn 23 on June 1st this year.
Well, he's a guy that has a very, very good fastball, 94, 95. It's in the slider, very quiet in his delivery.
He goes against Ron Coomer, and Ron smashes it past Miguel Tejada into left center field, and Coomer is racing for second. Here's the throw. They got him.
That's a high fastball. Coomer shoots it in the gap. The left center, once it gets past Tejada, Tejada thought he had a play on it. But watch the throw. Nice tag by Randy Velarde. That's coming from Grieve right there. Just gets the left foot. And Coomer never did really get to the bag.
Now David Ortiz, and he goes muscling after the first pitch thrown by Vizcaíno, strike 1. So Coomer with a single throw out to Randy Velarde.
It's a nice aggressive play, though. It's worth a chance because it's the first out at second base. You get there, if you hit the double and the man gets you over, you get a chance to score from third base with 1 out. That's not a bad play. It's an aggressive play.
Well, Vizcaíno must know a little something about David Ortiz, because he has not thrown him anything straight and firm. It has been off speed, and strike 2 to Ortiz.
Well, David Ortiz had a great year in AAA last year. 30 home runs. Hit .315 in Salt Lake City.
Again, he chases. That's low. And it's 0-2 as he fouls it off. Well, Luis was recalled from AAA Sacramento April 30th for his second stint with the A's this year, and has pitched 4 times since his return, giving up 6 runs in 7 2/3.
Going for a high fastball.
Pop foul out of play. Last week in Anaheim, the A's had a big lead. Mo Vaughn was going against Vizcaíno and launched a 3-run home run that tied the game. And the Angels would go on to win, but that has been the A's story. 6 of the last 7 losses, Kevin, have been by 1 run, and in each game they had a run of at least 3 runs, one time as many as 8 against the Rangers and lost. But Vizcaíno strikes out Ortiz.
Good split going down and away. Good sequence right there. Change the eyesight with the high fastball after a couple of splits down, and then finishes him off down with a split. Good sequence. Take a look at Vizcaíno. Good movement going down and away to Ortiz.
The batter catcher, Matthew.
That's how you win ball games. 2 types of movement. Down, and then it moves away. You're right, the 1-run games, that's because the bullpen has been giving it up.
Strike 1. Boy, they called a high strike on that one. That was the rule book strike. That was not knees to belly button. Here's Matt LaCroix, I was going to say freshman. He's a rookie. LaCroix hits it to center field. Terrence Long will make the catch, and for the first time in this ball game, the Minnesota Twins have not scored in an inning. It's 5-3 Twins. Well, there's the Bay Area in San Francisco, and a beautiful look at one of the many mooring locations for one of the many yacht facilities here in San Francisco, Oakland Bay, San Jose. It's a huge area. We are at Network Associates Coliseum. Steve Physiak, Kevin Kennedy with you on Baseball Thursday. The Twins with 3 runs in the first inning and single tallies, and each of the next 2, the second and third. And Oakland came up with 3, and their last of the 3rd inning. And Luis Vizcaíno now pitching, taking over for Kevin Appier and throwing a shutout 4th inning. Mark Redmond ready for his 4th inning of work after being roughed up in that 3rd. He hung a curve to Randy Velarde, and Velarde knocked it out. The pitch misses. Ball 1.
The thing I liked about Redmond is he came right back after giving up the home run to Velarde, and then made some nice pitches to strike Giambia. Got the ball down, so quickly made an adjustment.
Now Olmedo signs, and Signs pops it up right side. LaCroix giving chase, but it is out of play.
Only a few rows back, though.
Yeah, we've seen Fasano take care of a couple of pop-ups that would have been just strikes in any other ballpark in the big leagues. The more I see of his defensive work, the more I like him. I think he's going to be around for a while in the big leagues, whether it's as a backup reserve catcher. But those kinds of qualities, calling a pitching staff, working with a pitcher, blocking balls in the dirt, giving him confidence to throw that changeup in the dirt. That ball muscled to the outfield.
Didn't see it.
He didn't catch it.
Didn't see it.
Look at that. He threw his arms out as if to say, where is the baseball? And Torrey Hunter has a drop for a base hit. So Signs is on first base.
A little bit of twilight here. Didn't see it. Looking up there. It's not up there anymore. It already landed. And he's normally a pretty good center fielder, but if you don't see it, you don't see it. There's nothing you can do. Watch the arms come out here. Well, he already did it. Right before that shot, he had his arms out like, where is it, guys? And once he broke, it's too late, because that was just a little dunker into center field.
But with the swing that Signs had, his first break was back, and then he lost it. Because Olmedo had a really healthy swing. Here's Ben Grieve. And there's strike 1. Ben has been on a tear. Came into this game hitting .387 the last 2 weeks. And you remember the first month and a half for Ben last year. At this time last season, Ben was only hitting .132.
What a comeback he had the second half.
There's a strike, and he's behind the count, 0-2. It shows you a lot about his inner strength, because here's a guy still very young, only 24. He came back and hit 28 home runs last year and hit .265. 131 first 33 games.
And that is really in a slump. That is tough to mentally come back from that. And the way you do it, you just got to take one game at a time and try to hit the ball hard 4 times a night.
And you can tell he was taught well. A guy at his age with the ability to use the whole field.
He uses the field and pretty well balanced right there.
Swing and a miss, and Redmond strikes out the lefty. It's time for another Fox Sports Net game break. The San Francisco Giants were at Atlanta today. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Giants were leading 2-1 with the bases loaded. Greg Maddux is at the plate. He sends a ground ball to Jeff Kent. The runner on first, Javier Lopez, wisely gets in a rundown so that Rafael Furcal is able to score the game-winning run from second base. Bobby Bonilla scored the tying run from third. And the Atlanta Braves go on to win. So Maddux now 5-1. He is now 10-0 in his last 10 home starts against the Giants. Braves sweep that series. And they've won 6 in a row, while San Francisco, I believe, has lost 6 in a row.
Well, San Francisco's been streaky. Got off to a terrible start this year early. About 3-9, something like that. Come back well, and they're right down the other way.
And Atlanta has the best record in baseball. They're now 28-12.
That's a well-designed team. I tell you, that Rafael Furcal, that guy runs about 3.6 down the line. He can fly. He ought to get the run down when he's on the bases.
Yeah. Here's Miguel Tejada showing bunt. Ball stays up.
He's not going to do that.
Yeah, he hit 21 long balls last year.
He just wants to bring Koski in a little bit so he can smoke one down the line right by him. And Koski's in even with the bag at third base. So.
And he was 3 steps back.
With a 2-0 count, if I'm Koski, I'm playing back. Get back there.
Now he drops back. Now he comes up. Well, he's got him thinking. He was even with the grass. And then, as Redmond had accepted the sign, he dropped back 3 steps and then came in 3 steps.
And Tejada did his job. I mean, you can't cover both. It's one or the other. When you got a guy that can hit 25, 30 home runs like Tejada can, you're playing back.
With the count Tejada's way, and the 3-0 pitch is taken for a strike. 3-1.
Especially in those counts. 2-0, you're playing back. And he wants to bunt 2-0. You say, okay, you can have that one, Carl. We'll keep it in the yard. But he's still up right now, 3-1.
And he does not want to put that tying run on the base pass. He has signs at first base. Redmond now with a 3-1 pitch, and he swings and fouls it back. It's full 3-2. Well, Miguel Tejada, the Oakland A's shortstop, but maybe the best shortstop in the history of this franchise, has to be that 70s retro guy, Cathy Campaneris. Part of 3 world championships, 72, 73, 74.
Let's see if Art House sends the runner. He doesn't run a whole lot. He does not.
Foul back.
Tejada can strike out as well. And Redmond very quick to the plate. Little slide step right there. You got a left-hander you can't get a jump off of, and it's quick to the plate, about 1.0 seconds to home plate. It really doesn't serve a purpose to run, because you're not going to put an infielder out of position. They can wait a long time.
Redmond brings it. Tejada swings and sends it deep. And we have a new ball game in Oakland.
Yeah, take that bunt. Setting them up the whole way.
At one time, Mark Redmond had a 5-0 lead, but a 2-run home run by Velarde. Now a 2-run home run by Tejada ties it.
Up and out over the plate again. I mean, that's like batting practice. Second time around the lineup. They've seen what Redmond can throw. They're waiting on him, waiting him out a little bit. Got the count in his favor, 3-2, and got a fastball up and out over the plate for his 6th home run.
Look at all of the power hitting shortstops in baseball now. That used to be just a defensive position. the Mark Belangers of the world would give you 1 or 2 home runs a year. And now with Tejada, 21 last year, Garcia Parra, Rodriguez hits 40. Jeter's unbelievable. Even the little guys like Omar Vizquel are sending him deep. There's Jeremy Giambi to left field. Now in foul territory. Catch is made as Jack Jones had to run up that pitching mound at the bullpen.
Well, 65 home runs now as a club for the Oakland A's. 2 more tonight. What we said earlier, you got to keep these teams close because 5 runs is not enough. And Apier had 1 good inning, that second inning with the bases loaded and 1 out. They couldn't open up the ball game, and he got out of it, kept the game close enough. Even though he's out of the game, the A's have enough power to get back in the game. 3-2 fastball right there. He knew it. I got it. Just get over that wall. Just to make sure you keep looking at it. The ball jumps. Since they've enclosed this stadium a few years ago, the ball really jumps. I talked to Jose Canseco when he used to play here. He said he'd have so many home runs knocked down because the wind used to blow in. But now with the enclosure, for football, the ball just jumps.
It is not as attractive as the old yard. They had the beautiful grass up in the left field area.
Sure did. And that scoreboard was in center field, but
that's the Al Davis Mausoleum as they brought it in.
And it blocks the wind out.
It does. But this is now a football stadium.
There's no question about that.
This community gave a lot to get those Raiders back. Now they have to make sure the A's stay, and there's a strike on the inside corner. Chavez strikes out against Redmond, but Redmond threw 1 bad pitch out, up, over, and Miguel Tejada did not miss. At this time, we want to welcome our viewers from HTS, where the Texas Rangers have defeated the Baltimore Orioles by a score of 8-7. I'm Steve Physiak along with Kevin Kennedy here at Oakland. You see the comeback by the A's at one time down 5-0. With 3 in the third and 2 more in the fourth. The highlights: Randy Velarde's 2-run home run in the third and Miguel's 2-run home run against Mark Redmond in the fourth to tie the game. Now it's Minnesota's turn, and they set guy 1 to left field. Corey Koski, 1 out. Well, on this date in history, we've got to talk about this Oakland Athletics ball club. Reggie Jackson, Hall of Famer and former athletic, was born May 18th, 1946, and he went on to help this club win some world championships in the 70s. Some kind of player, Mr. October.
Mark McGwire's about to catch him in another few months.
Yeah, Henry Aaron has the all-time home run lead, and then Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, Frank Robinson, Harmon Killebrew, who's the Twins, Reggie Jackson, Mike Schmidt, and then Mark McGwire.
Well, Mark hit 3 more home runs tonight. And I know Mike Schmidt had 548 home runs, so you can expect Mark McGwire, who's averaging 1 home run every 6 at-bats this year, to catch Schmidt in another 10 days or so, as long as he's in the lineup. And then after that, it's Mr. October.
539 home runs.
Well, we've seen a couple of bombs here tonight. Randy Velarde got a hanging breaking ball for his 2-run home run in the third off of Redmond, and then Tejada got a 3-2 fastball to tie it up in the fourth.
Here's a chopper hit foul. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's some wild races going on around baseball,
including this division right here with the Oakland A's.
This is the most competitive. We talked about it at the start. Only 2.5 games separates first and last place. I mean, by far. The next closest would be the National League Central, with 8.5 games separate first and last place with Cincinnati and the Chicago Cubs.
Now, why isn't that a strike? That's the problem today, and that's why we're having complaints in Major League Baseball. What is wrong with this pitch by Vizcaino? At the knees, right down the middle, that last pitch, he doesn't get it.
And on 2-2, it is popped up right side. Velarde drifting out. On comes Jeremy Giambi, and it's Velarde to make the catch.
This is Paul Schreiber behind the plate. Look at the pitch by Vizcaino. Now, why isn't that strike 3? When that ball crosses the plate, I mean, it's right there. That is a strike. I'm sorry. I mean, that has to happen in Major League Baseball. Everybody's saying about raising the mound. Forget about it. Call a strike a strike. That's all.
Either that or you've got to change the rule book.
I mean, that's a squeeze job right there. That's a good pitch.
Ground ball to third. Eric Chavez. Inning is over. Vizcaino with 2 shutout innings as the A's have come back for him. It is a 5-5 ball game here going to the bottom of the 5th. There are in Oakland, California. 5-5 our score. At one time the Twins led 5-0, but Oakland has roared back. And look at that beautiful baby.
Absolutely. Enjoying the ball game and enjoying the camera. At least the father is.
She's got her pink jammies on just in case she wants to nod off.
Pretty nice evening here, too. Not too cold. But
it is perfect. Mark Redmond will go against the Oakland Athletics, and they will send to the plate Sal Fasano, hitter number 9, then back to the top of the order, and Terrence Long and Randy Velarde.
Well, Redmond retired the first 6 he faced. After that, he's given up 5 runs, 5 hits the last 2 innings, a couple of bombs, a couple of home runs by Velarde and Tejada. Take a look at those first 2 innings, 20 pitches. He was just sailing along. And the second time around the lineup and third time around the lineup is when the Oakland A's are going to take advantage. They saw his sinker and his sweeping curveball and his changeup, and they just sat back and waited. Waited for a mistake.
He has elevated too many pitches.
Yeah. Especially the 2 home runs. Velarde got a hanging curve, and Tejada got a 3-2 fastball up for the home run.
If you throw as hard as Randy Johnson, you can get away up in the strike zone.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he got away with one up in the strike zone, but it may have been up out of the hitting zone. And there's a pop-up to the third baseman, Corey Koski, and there is the first out. Time again for our Fox Sports Net game break. It's the Arizona Diamondbacks, number 1 in the National League West, taking on the Montreal Expos. Top of the 3rd inning, Arizona with a 5-2 lead. Felipe Lira serves up this pitch to Steve Finley, and he puts it over the center field wall for his 15th home run this year. What a year for Finley. The Diamondbacks win it 8-6, and Finley also got the sacrifice fly in the top of the 9th that proved to be the winning run.
And, you know, the Diamondbacks are doing that without their closer, Matt Manti, or their other Matt Williams.
Young Hun Kim came in and got the win and also finished out the Expos.
He lives for the strikeout. Doesn't even strikes everybody out.
Sure does.
Jim.
Terrence Long takes down low. Long doubled his last at bat to drive in a run, and then would score on Randy Velarde's home run.
That curveball right there looked like it had to cross the plate. It's not where the catcher catches it, it's where it crosses the plate.
That again up in the strike zone. He got away with it. 1-2.
Yeah, if you're not going to get your curveball over, at least get the call, and you got to go to your fastball, and you're throwing 84 miles an hour and straight, you're going to get hit.
He really came to the big leagues, really came to pro baseball with a fastball changeup. There's a ground ball hit to his second baseman, and Jay Canizaro throws out Terrence Long.
Nice pitch. He got that ball down. That was nice. 1-2.
Well, the Oakland Athletics have been going deep the last 2 innings, and you can go deep as well. It steps into the world of the adrenaline junkie. 50-foot waves, 1,000-foot free falls. But do these daredevils have a death wish? Hooked on Adrenaline, Sunday at 7 on Fox Sports Net. Chris Myers hosts the show that critics call the 60 minutes of sports television. Randy Velarde is going deep. He sure did in his last at bat, hit his 3rd home run of the year to pull Minnesota within 5-3. Then Tejada's 2-run home run tied it in the last of the 4th. Inside corner. Perfect pitch. 1-1.
And an ideal number 2 hitter, Randy Velarde. He's got some power. He'll take a walk. He'll use the field. Excellent situational hitter. Keeps getting better with age.
Chopper hit to short. Denny Hocking moves him out. So Redmond comes back with a shutout 5th inning. We are even though 5-5 ball game going to the 6th. Top of the 6th inning, Minnesota at one time had a 5-0 lead, but the A's went long ball.
Well, Randy Velarde in the 3rd inning got a hanging curveball right there, drove it deep for a 2-run home run. This made the score 5-3 at the time. And then in the 4th inning, Miguel Tejada gets a high fastball. A 2-run home run for Miguel Tejada just over the left field fence, about 375 feet away. That tied the game at 5.
So here to start the 6th inning, it'll be Chuck Jones, Denny Hocking, and Matt Lawton. And as we check pitch tracks, where were those pitches?
Well, take a look up in the zone right there. You can see them. I mean, you throw a hanging curve and a high fastball. That's why these balls are driven out of the ballpark. You don't hit too many sinkers down for home runs.
Well, that's pulled to right field well by Jacques Jones. He's been on now 4 times, 3 singles, and he also reached on an error. Well, you were talking earlier in this ball game about Denny Hocking having a chance to have a truly great game. Denny has 2 doubles and a single in the first 3 innings. Now it comes up in the 6th.
And this is another situation where he's looking at the sign right there down to third base for Ronnie Gardenhire because he might get another hit and run. It might be a first pitch hit and run. And we've got third baseman Chavez in looking for possible bunts. This is where Tom Kelly, this is why he has Hocking hitting second. That's what he likes to do.
He's raised his average from 235 to 262 with the 3-for-3 show.
A little throw over there called from the bench usually from Art Howe to his catcher, Pisano. And letting Vizcaino know just to see if they're doing something, just to see if Jones will give the hit and run away by.
You know, this is one of the hard things that Tom Kelly has. Tom was telling us that the hard part now is not being able to do things I like to do because of youth. Sometimes missed signs or poor execution on a sacrifice bunt or a hit and run. He has a perfect guy, like you said, in Hocking.
Well, you learn on the job with the Twins, and that's why hopefully you've got good minor league people that are emphasizing that, and that's why Tom Kelly's been there since, what, 1986, 1987? He's been there for 15 years now.
Hocking swings and misses.
That off-speed pitch fading down and away. Nice pitch from Vizcaino. 15 years for Tom Kelly. He's got his 1,000th Major League win a week ago. Not that long, his tenure of all major sports. But it helps when you win early. He won in '87, he won in '91, a couple of World Series. And they used to say, Steve, you win once, it gives you at least 5 more years. Well, he's won twice early, so it's time. Maybe you got to win again.
Remember that last where he had Jack Morris on the mound and Kevin Tapani still pitching Scott Erickson. He's now with Baltimore.
Yeah, he had a whole different club then. The disparity in baseball wasn't quite what it is like it is now.
They lost all those guys because of free agency or trades because they were successful. We're going to make the big money. Tapani moved on. Erickson went to Baltimore. The only guy who really stayed was Kirby Puckett, and then he went down with the injury.
But Herbeck and Puckett, Kirby was quite a cannon for him.
A tapper foul. They throw to first base, and Pisano thinking that perhaps Hocking. Let's go back to 1991 in that World Series.
That's Gene Larkin right there with the winning hit into left center field right there. Danny Gladden scoring a winning run. And through all the celebration, the funny thing, there's Danny Gladden. He's doing some of this right now.
Radio broadcaster for the Minnesota Twins, and he's got 2 World Championship rings.
The thing about that in the celebration, Tom Kelly never went out in the field. He let the players celebrate. Very humble guy, stayed on the bench. He said, hey, that's the players celebrating.
You know, he's a long-time Minnesotan. Born in Gracieville, Minnesota. Played for the Twins. Only 49 games in 1975, but they gave him his coaching start.
I can remember back in '77, my first year in AAA, he was a player coach for Toledo, the Mudhens. And he was just kind of getting in, out of playing and into management side. Little did you know that at that time that he'd have 15 years in the big leagues managing and over 1,000 wins. Been in that organization a long time.
That ball lies sharply towards left field, and that's a base hit. So Hocking is 4 for 4. A couple of doubles, a couple of singles.
That was a high fastball in the last one. Let's go back to the first inning. Apier, there's a high fastball, shoots it into left field for the double. Second inning, another high fastball, shoots it into left field for the double. Third inning, a fastball down and in. He turns on it, similar right field in front of Jeremy Giambi. And then watch this, a high fastball, shoots it into left field for the single. 3 high fastballs, 1 low fastball down and in, 4 base hits.
Well, Denny's going to be saying it's got to be my friends on Baseball Thursday, because at one time he was an intern and production assistant for Fox Sports Net West. At that time it was Prime Sports, but Denny worked in the production crew.
He should be smiling. We got 3 hits the first 3 innings. We were talking about possible 5-hit night. Now he's got a real good shot at it. He'll get at least 1 and maybe 2 more at bats before this game is over.
Well, Vizcaíno throwing well, 2 shutout innings in the 4th and 5th. But the first 2 guys who face him, Jacques Jones and also Denny Hocking, reach on base hits to right and left field. So Mike Magnante comes out of the pen to try and cool off the Twins.
Honey, I'm home.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Steve Physiak, Kevin Kennedy with you at Network Associates Coliseum in Oakland, California. A 5-5 ball game. Luis Vizcaíno goes to the dugout. His evening is over. Denny Hocking having a roaring beginning to this game. First 6 innings, he has 4 hits, tying his career best. Well, here is Mike Magnante with a 4.26 earned run average, and we understand that Denny Hocking had a 5-hit game.
He did last year against the Detroit Tigers, so, you know, he's smiling, but he knows, hey, I've done this before.
Been in this territory before, knows the feeling. 2 on, nobody out. Magnante will face Matt Lawton, who's been their top run producer this year.
Well, the corners were in. Giambi was up at first, Chavez up at third, but I don't see, with Matt Lawton hitting over 350, I don't see a bunt coming this way, or at least coming into this game hitting 348. The number 3 hitter, I don't see a bunt happening right here, not in the 6th inning.
Giambi now backs up behind the runner and off the bag.
I would be surprised. You got a guy this hot, and your 3 hitter, a long way to go in this ballpark, seeing how the Oakland A's have really caught fire with the bats. I don't think he'll be bunting. You got to play for a bigger inning than that.
Magnante with that big sweeping curveball. Wants to ride away from the lefties. When he touches the outside corner, evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Also, if there was a bunt, they just put Coomer on and face David Ortiz and force Kelly to come off the bench and get a right-hander up there. So they're swinging the bat all the way here. Chavez is still up at third base. Giambi's moved back at first base.
He taps it. Magnante only play first base, so it's just as good as a sacrifice.
And it worked like one. Check swing off the breaking ball. Looks like he hit it out in front of home plate or off the plate. High enough where Magnante's only play was the first. Let's take a look. It's like a little breaking ball right here. Yep. Tried to hold up, couldn't do it. Hit it right out in front of home plate or off the plate. Like Maury Wills from back in the 60s. Gets the job done either way, but now they are going to walk, as we said, they're going to walk Coomer now, force the bases loaded. And we'll see if Kelly comes off the bench and brings maybe a Butch Huskey or somebody to hit for David Ortiz.
Still in the 6th inning. Ortiz, rumor, does not run that well. Mignante, if he keeps the ball down, can get out of this inning with a ground ball double play with David. And there's Husky beginning to warm up, and he's getting ready to put his batting gloves on. So there's the intentional pass to Ron Coomer. The bases are loaded for Minnesota. And we've got Baseball Thursday. Next week, it's the Toronto Blue Jays against the Boston Red Sox at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. A chance to see Carlos Delgado. Others will see the Pirates and the Diamondbacks. That's a 10 o'clock Eastern start as Pittsburgh takes on the #1 team in the National League West, Arizona. They won their 27th today against 13 defeats. Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Net.
Husky.
So Husky comes on, pinch hitting for David Ortiz.
This is the right move from both managers. Art Howe has to force this situation to get Kelly to unload his bench, and Tom Kelly's in the 6th inning in a 5-5 game, bases loaded, where he's got to do this. He's got to bring Husky off the bench to try to open up the game right now.
And Butch only hitting .226 with 2 home runs, but has much greater strength than that. He had a pretty good year last year. Butch takes inside ball 1. Husky last season with the Minnesota Twins, or rather the Boston Red Sox and the Seattle Mariners, started with the Mariners, hit 15 home runs, hit 7 more with Boston, so 22 last season, and he has 2 grand slams in his career.
He's in the right situation here. Bases loaded. That's when he hits best.
Butch swings. Chavez has it, goes to second for the force. That's all they'll get, as the run will score.
That's a great play by Eric Chavez, going to his left. Husky gets the ball down and in and shoots it. Looks like a 2-run single into left field, but Chavez spears it from his right knee, fires a strike to second baseman Randy Velarde to get the force out. He saved 2 runs and he got the second out. Nice play from Eric Chavez. Good lateral movement going to his left. Good reaction. Velarde getting out of the way.
And it looks like Randy got one of his spikes caught on the leg of Ron Coomer. So now runners in the corners, 2 outs, but Minnesota has taken a 6-5 lead on the ground out by Husky. And here comes Matt LaCroix, the rookie. LaCroix 1 for 3, singled on the first pitch he saw from Kevin Apier. Since he's grounded out and flied out. This kid does have power, though. Even though he's only hitting 183, he's got 3 home runs. Former first-round supplemental pick out of Clemson University. Really well liked in that clubhouse. Small-town kid in South Carolina.
Well, one thing LaCroix has done since he's gotten to the big leagues is strikeout to walk ratio is not good. We just saw him swing at a bad pitch right there. 24 strikeouts, only 9 walks. In the minor leagues, he was about a 1-to-1. Much better eye in the minor leagues. That's just adjusting to big league pitching and not being over anxious.
1 ball, 1 strike. Last year hit .303 at Salt Lake City with 10 home runs. Hit 20 more home runs at Fort Myers, so 30 all last season. He looks like a catcher, doesn't he?
Yep, he does.
Just outside, trying to tease LaCroix away, 2-1.
Well, that's a pretty good pitch by Mignante. Didn't get the call. This thing might have went around the plate. And it probably did. A little bit outside. It's not where the catcher catches it. Just off the outside corner. But a good pitcher's pitch. You're going to miss. That's where you want to miss.
Look how quickly Pisano just digs that ball to the dirt.
Yeah, Sal has great hands. Really does. Sits down there quietly behind a plate. I heard Ray Fosse saying that this guy could hit 240, 250, he'd be a starter. He feels he's the best receiver in the American League, just from a receiving standpoint, calling a game.
Look how low he gets, the target he presents. And there's a line drive right to Velarde, ending the inning. So Oakland had him defensed perfectly up the middle behind second base. Jason Giambi will be coming your way, not only on Fox Sports Net's Baseball Thursday, but Hardcore Baseball with Kevin Kennedy next week. His brother in the Oakland lineup, Jason Giambi. We talked to him about his hitting philosophy and his approach to the game.
Last I got my 100 walks, also go over my 100 RBIs and hit my home runs. So when I get up there and I think it's just a situation like, is this guy going to come fat, you know, be ready to hit first pitch? Am I going to let a few pitches go by? And just kind of get up there with a clear mind and just kind of really concentrate on seeing the baseball. That's what I just try to slow it all down and try to see the baseball.
Well, he's come with a clear mind this year, and he has been hammering the baseball. 16 home runs, 47 runs driven in. 47 RBIs, leads the American League. I love his language, too. Is this guy going to come fast? That means fastball, first pitch, fly ball hit to left field. Jason was talking last year about when you're in a hitting streak, you feel sexy at the plate. Everybody said, what? And he says, you know, like when you walk into a nightclub and every eye is on you. You're at the plate. You know every eye is on you, and you are feeling in the hit groove.
You know, I interviewed him in spring training, and the first thing he said, he says, we don't play any small ball here. We go for the 3-run Jimmy Jack.
Jimmy Jack.
They've got a couple of 2-run Jimmy Jacks tonight, and Jason doesn't have one of them. But you're right. He took that first pitch from Redmond because it was a curveball, got the fastball, but not really where he wanted it, and popped it up for the out.
The Oakland Athletics have for years had guys with their own languages. Jason Giambi now. In the past, Dennis Eckersley had his own language, and what a great relief pitcher he was.
Well, what language were we speaking in the open with those outfits?
We were speaking free Eckersley. Denny Hocking, one hand. Nice play, 2 outs. I remember Dennis Eckersley said, well, I threw him a satellite on the outside corner. That meant a slider. And did you know he was the first guy I've ever heard to come up with walk-off piece? And now we have statistics called walk-off home runs.
It's common, and we're probably going to see one of those tonight. A walk-off home run.
Eck-isms. And he is the greatest closer in Oakland history. I mean, Raleigh Finger's an absolutely fabulous one, but Eck did some dramatic things here that were unbelievable.
In case you don't know, walk-off home run is where the final out, the final at-bat is a home run, the game's over. It means you're walking off if you're the other team out there.
Exactly.
With the visitors.
That pitch is low. But we've seen a lot of walk-off pieces this year.
This game has the makings of it.
And Oakland has seen too many of those in the past 2 weeks. I told you about the last 7 losses, 6 by 1 run. And in all 6 of those losses, they had at least a 3-run lead. At one time, they had an 8-run lead against Texas and lost in Arlington. One ball chopped over the head of Redmond. Backhanded nicely, and a fine play by Jay Canizaro. So Redmond has battled back well since giving up home runs in the 3rd and 4th. Tie the game with the Twins in front by 1. To ride, Mark Redmond has taken us on in this ball game.
Well, Mark Redmond's been very streaky. Comes out of the chute, is pitching very well. Retires the first 6 batters he faced. Then 5 of the next 9 batters got hits, including a couple of home runs. And then he's made some adjustments. And now he's retired the last 8 batters. That's a good sign right there for a young major league pitcher to make some adjustments and not panic out there. 12 and 8, 20 pitches in the first 2 innings. A couple of tough innings right here. And then look at this, 19 pitches the final 2 innings. So good adjustment by Mark Redmond tonight.
Well, he's been able to keep that ball down. As you said, he made some bad mistakes over the middle of the plate. That curveball up, the fastball up. And here we go with the Minnesota Twins, and Magnante stays in the game. Corey Koski is the left-hander. Then they'll go with Corey Hunter.
Good curveball right there by Magnante, down and away.
Well, Corey Hunter is in the on-deck circle. Magnante quickly in front, no balls and 2 strikes. Koski came in and a slump, 1 for 15, but has a singles double in this game. And waves at 3 pitches by Magnante and strikes out.
Nice job from Magnante. 3 breaking balls, got the lefty out, and that's why he's in there. Get those lefties out especially. Sweeping breaking ball, no chance for Koski.
Magnanti trying to dot the outside corner.
Magnanti's really had a tough time getting lefties out. He just struck out Hocking, but this year so far, lefties are hitting 364 off of him, which tells me right there he hasn't been getting that breaking ball over it. But he did against Hocking.
And here is Torrey Hunter. You know, Torrey has been in a slump. And it seems like, Kevin, he's still taking some vicious rips of that baseball.
Yeah, we saw that in his first at bat. He had some men on base and just took some big swings to strike out off of Kevin Apier when Kevin was struggling. And since then, he's lined out to short and popped out to right field.
And he, too, has been in a terrible slump. And when you're a young player, and Torrey's only 24, you start to think about those things, press, not leave what has happened bad in the past. And Hunter now hitting about 150 in the last 2.5 weeks.
And he came into this ball game only hitting 228. But he does have speed, and he's pretty good defensive center fielder. He runs about a 4.0 down the line, which is above average. That's good speed from the right side.
Really smacks that one up the middle. And comes through with his first hit at the ball game. Time again for a Fox Sports Net game break. It's the San Diego Padres at the Florida Marlins. The Padres winning only 2 of their last 11 on the road. They got a win tonight thanks to ex-Brave Ryan Klesko's 8th home run of the year. He hit this one to right field in the 5th. The Padres win 6-2. And this comes despite the Marlins, Kevin, stealing 10 bases by 4 different players. 10 bases. Come on, pitchers. Hold the runners better.
Oh, there'll be a meeting about that. I guarantee you.
No question. Bruce Bochy is a former catcher. He takes a great pride in his team's defense. Magnanti now facing another right-hander, Jay Cannizzaro.
What are they doing? Throwing eathless pitches or what?
I guess so. 10 stolen bases. And this is the era where people don't run as much. That ball hit sharply to right field ahead. Cannizzaro is on. Racing for third. The ball gets away from the right fielder. And now they'll send Hunter, and he will score. To third base, Cannizzaro.
That's a second error out there in right field for Jeremy Giambi. Good piece of hitting from Cannizzaro going the other way. And a pitch out over the plate, shoots it into right field. Watch Giambi trying to come up quickly. Takes a hop, goes off of the heel of his glove and by him. And with a runner at first base, what he was trying to do is stop him from going to third. Instead, you got a runner at third base and the runner scoring.
That is the 4th error by the Oakland A's in this ball game. 2, as you said, by right fielder Jeremy Giambi. Magnanti, who has 2 bad knees already, may have been hurt backing up the play, and now Art Howe wants to see him throw. You can see the heavy braces on his knees.
Boy, you sure can.
No, he can't do. He
can't go.
Head. Wow.
Well, let's take a look at what happened. Here's the last pitch to Cannizzaro, and watch him off the mound here. When he goes to run, he sees this ball to right field. He knows he's got to back up third. That's his job, and he stumbles right there. Change of direction got him. And boy, this could be some problems. You got some bad knee right there, or 2 bad knees. That could be DL material.
He is their main lefty in the bullpen, and the Twins with a 7-5 lead and threatening to score more here in the top of the 7th.
Well, take a look at Mike Magnanti, what he did on the mound in this last play. Watch the left ankle of Magnanti right there. He's going to buckle as he changes direction and tries to go back up third base. Take a look. There, right there. Oh, my goodness. I mean, that's terrible. And that's his drive leg, the push-off leg. No way he could continue. I mean, he's feeling it right then and there and does go back up third base, but he could not continue. Art Howe went out there. He threw 1 pitch, and there's no way he could push off that back leg.
And Mike is their main lefty, so they'll go back to a lefty in Rich Sabur, 36-year-old lefty from Falls Church, Virginia. He's been in the minor leagues. He's been in pro ball for a long, long time, but not too much big league service. This year, 1 inning, no earned runs. Last year, outstanding at AAA Nashville as a setup guy. But 4 errors by the Oakland Athletics in this game had really hurt them terribly. Chavez back in the first inning, a run would score. The ball dropped into right center field. Center fielder Long made the error. Giambi throwing it in. 2 more runs would score after that. And then this base hit to right field that Giambi bobbles and gets through. So Jeremy, excuse me, with 1 error.
That's right.
Long with the other.
Yeah, we said the right way. Hey, let's give the errors out equally. Let's not too many out there. That was Long with the second error.
We're an equal error company.
That's right.
Left fielder, Buck Jones.
29 this season. Well, Sever's kind of an interesting guy. The guy throws about 83 miles an hour. Got a knuckleball, left-handed knuckleball. He'll drop down on lefties. He'll throw 3/4 to righties. He's got 2 kinds of curveballs and what he calls a slow slider, and he's got a screwball. So what's that, about 50 pitches? As long as you get him out, that's why he's out there. Art Howe doesn't care.
When you're in the minor leagues, you'll invent pitches to get to the big leagues, and there is a big bender that he gets Jock Jones way out in front, strike 1.
That is a big curveball, no doubt about it. Broke about 4 feet. Pretty good pitch.
Rich at 6'4", 195 pounds, only 153 total days in the big leagues, and here he is at the age of 36.
Left-handers, are you listening out there? Keep pitching.
Exactly.
Go to winter ball. Go to independent ball.
And he has been pitching since 1983. I mean, you talk about perseverance. Well, the French translation of his last name, which is spelled S-A-U-V-E-U-R, Savour, is savor, deliverer, a savior. And right now,
I knew where you were
Oakland
going. I was
needs a
with
savior.
They need an out right here.
Yes, they do.
Savour.
Again, a big curveball that is flipped foul out of play, 0-2. So Savour has the count his way.
One thing I like, I always used to say, if I bring a lefty in to face a lefty, I don't want him hitting a fastball early in the count. Otherwise, I would have left the righty in there if I had one. Obviously, McNulty was not, but you see too many lefties come in, first pitch fastball, and the lefty gets a hit off him, and the guy doesn't do the job. Well, Savior, Savour, has thrown 3 curveballs in a row. We'll see what he does here.
The 0-2 came back up and in, fouled off.
That's why he's in there.
And he does have a funky delivery, which would be difficult to pick up if you see him just one time in a game.
I'm waiting for the knuckleball. I want to see that. He'll probably throw that more to righties. Throwing 4 curveballs so far here to Jock Jones.
Curveball reaches out and punches it to right field. And that will get home Jay Cannizzaro with the 8th run for Minnesota.
Jock Jones was looking for one thing. He saw 4 curveballs. He said, I think this guy's trying to get me out with a curveball. So maybe I'll see another one. And that's exactly what he did. And he got fooled a little bit, but he did get out there and make contact. Fully extended right there and drops his ball into right field. Nice piece of hitting from Jock Jones to stay alive, fight off the curveball, and then drop one into right center for the RBI single.
And now, switch hitter Denny Hocking. Hocking already with 4 hits. We told you about his last 5-hit game. Came last year against the Detroit Tigers. The Twins' record is 6, set by Kirby Puckett. Hocking 4 for 4 with a pair of doubles, pair of singles. He's driven in a run. He scored a run. And Savour goes away. Jock Jones with a 4-hit game. Southern California is doing pretty good tonight. Jock Jones from Southern California went to USC, and there is the pride of El Camino Community College out of Torrance, California, Denny Hocking. He got 8 hits in the number 1 and number 2 spot.
Oh, boy, that's going to get a lot of runs for you. Unfortunately, they're a 3-hitter. The only starter in the lineup tonight that's still in the ballgame without a base hit, that's Matt Lawton, and he's on deck. Ortiz didn't have a hit, but he got pulled for Butch Huskey in the 6th inning. Pinch hit in the DH spot.
Savour brings it and stays upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes.
Matt Lawton did set up a couple of runs, though, in the first inning. They had 2nd and 3rd, and he got that ground ball to the right side, drove in Jones with the first run, and he got Denny Hocking to third base with 1 out.
That ball is hit well to deep left center field. Grieve racing back at the wall. The 5th hit by Denny Hocking is a home run. What a game by number 7.
Well, you only can dream about nights like that. At least I can. I actually had one 5-hit game, but it was in the minor leagues, AAA, 5-5. I actually had a home run too on my 4th at bat, so he's going to get 6 tonight. I feel it. Had a breaking ball down and in and drove it into left center field, and Ben Grieve had no chance.
And now a line drive base hit to left field by Matt Lawton.
He's going to get a 6th chance in the 9th inning, at least.
A 10-5 ball game. Hocking is giving out hugs all the way around. His 2nd home run of the year. He tied his career high. Had a 5-hit game against the Detroit Tigers last year, but nothing like this. 2 singles, 2 doubles, a home run, and he's going to get another chance to get up to the plate.
He is, most definitely. Denny Hocking started his game hitting .235. He's a switch hitter. Turn him around, doesn't matter. He'll get you hit, take you deep. Pretty good for anybody, but especially for a guy that does not play every day. That's tough to do.
And now you know why Tom Kelly loves him so much. I mean, he can play him at 1st, 2nd, 3rd, short, all 3 outfield spots. There's a ground ball hitting the hole. Tejada goes 2nd for 1. First base. They got it. Nice double play. 6-4 to 3. But Minnesota pours it on with 4 runs in the top of the 7th inning, led by that man Denny Hocking with a 2-run blast. His 5th hit of this ball game. As we head to the bottom of the 7th inning, it is 10-5 Minnesota. Let's take a look at what's coming your way tonight on the National Sports Report following our game. For that, we take you to the Fox Network Center. His grandpappy played college football at Penn State, and he's got to be mighty proud of his grandson Denny Hocking with a 5-hit game tonight.
And tops it off with a home run, his 5th hit of the game off a left-hander. Savoy right there, curveball down and in, and he belts it to left center field. He knows it's got a good chance, felt good, and gone. 5-hit game, and he's got a chance to have 1 more at bat. Take a look at all of his hits tonight. The last one right there, that was the curveball. The rest are fastballs off a right-handed pitcher. That last one off a lefty.
Elevation and middle of plate.
Absolutely. Right down the middle. Most of them up.
Denny Hocking. Career game for him. He had 5 hits last year in a game against the Detroit Tigers. And he'll remember this night in May, the year 2000. New pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. Travis Miller takes over for Mark Redmond. Redmond in line to get the victory. And there's a bunt try, and Redmond. Miller drops it, picks it up. And Miguel Tejada is out at first base.
Well, Tejada starts off with a bunt try here because they're down 5 runs. Different situation than in the 4th inning, where he had a chance to tie the game, and he did with a 2-run home run to make it 5-5. And since that time, they have been retired 9 in a row.
Well, Travis Miller, the left-handed pitcher, goes 6'3", 215. He's 27 years old, from Dayton, Ohio. Former first-round sandwich pick in 1994. So not only do you get selected in the first round, you get a sandwich to boot. And that ball sliced into left field. Foul. Jeremy Giambi has been up twice in this game. Singled his first time, scored a run, fly to left in his next at bat. So he's gone to opposite field well. Just sent 1 foul.
And he's going to have to off of Miller because the lefties are only hitting .217 off of him this year. Right-handers .439. Miller throws that sweeping slider and curveball down on the way to lefties. High fastball right there. And he'll go to his out pitch. He'll throw that breaking ball. He'll try to get him to chase him.
And both of the Giambi boys tell you about their mom and dad and the influence they have been on their careers. And Dad taught both of them to go with the pitch, work the opposite field. He also stuck a wood bat in their hands when they're growing up and said, you learn to hit with this. You may need it later in life, and they do now.
A little slider right there. Well, I remember Jason when he first came up, and I was still managing in Boston. Like I said, who is this guy? This guy hit the ball all over the ballpark. You're absolutely right. He went the other way. He hit the big green monster in Fenway Park in left center. You couldn't get him out. And the guy's for real, obviously. Over a 300 hitter and a ton of home runs and just getting better and better. And his brother Jeremy is a pretty good hitter in his own right.
Jeremy about 3 inches smaller. He chases a pitch down in the strike zone and strikes out. So Jeremy 1 for 3 in the game in Oakland. Now with 2 outs in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and got him with the 7th inning and down by 5.
Well, once Miller got ahead 0-2, you know he was going to go to that out pitch, that slider. That's exactly what he got. Down and away and got Giambi to chase it.
Here comes Eric Chavez, 0 for 2. Just hitting 170 the last month. Hey, do we have a report on Mike Magnante, diagnosed with a sprained ankle? I'll show you the video, the way he rolled that over. So Art Howe is hoping that Magnante won't be gone long, because he needs that tough lefty in the bullpen, and Magnante has been just that this year.
Well, the bad thing about a sprain like that, we showed exactly what he did an inning ago, really twisting that like that. That can be as bad as a break, because especially for a pitcher that has to push off, that's his drive leg. Rick Peterson should be concerned. The bullpen's had a tough enough time getting people out as it is without losing guys to injury.
They have Magnante, they have Savour. Those are the only left-handers they have in that pen.
And Savour just got lit a minute ago and gave it up big time, and now we're at 10-5 Minnesota.
A chopper. Miller fields it. Boy, they barely touched him. And he records the out at first base. So Miller with 2 comebackers and a strikeout. And it's a 10-5 Twin lead at the end of 7. Minnesota Twins with 17 hits in this ball game, 10 runs. Oakland with 5 runs on 5 hits. And Rich Savour stay in the game after he was really torn apart in that last inning. He did get out of it with a 6-4-3 double play to Ron Coomer. By that time, Hocking had hit his home run, and Cannizzaro and Jones had knocked in their runs.
And down 5 runs, Art Howe doesn't want to use up more of the bullpen, so Savour's got to try to get a few outs here for him, and hopefully, as far as the A's are concerned, have a chance to come back in this ball game. It's getting late though now.
I believe in tomorrow's newspaper it will say hot hitters: Mark McGwire, Denny Hocking. McGwire went deep 3 times, and Denny Hocking 5 for 5. A pair of singles, a pair of doubles, a home run. There's a ground ball hit to short. Miguel Tejada, 1 out. Hocking, it's a game for his memory book, something that he'll be telling his grandkids about 40 years from now. But Denny in the first inning gets a double down the left field line. Second inning, 1 more double. Third inning, how about 3 hits in 3 innings? A single. Inning 6. Another base hit then in the 7th. A 2-run home run. Look at Denny. He's jumping on his teammates. Isn't he a blast?
His hands were so quick that on that 4th hit, I didn't even see it.
He got through the zone like right now.
Yeah, there should be smiles on that bench. I'm thinking about that 6th at bat. Give me a 6th at bat, guys.
Well, here's what has to happen. They've got to get somebody on the base pass. Here's the game summary. Minnesota was up 5-0. Oakland came back to tie it up on home runs by Velarde and Tejada, but 1 in the 6th, 4 in the 7th. Minnesota has a 5-run lead. Hocking 5 for 5, but the only way, Kevin, he can get up again is if Minnesota gets somebody on the base path. They've got to be a little more patient to get their shortstop up again.
I think they got a pretty good chance.
2 outs now. That stays high. 2 balls and no strikes. Koski's job, get on base any way possible. Chopper hit to second base. Velarde will take care of it, and a 1-2-3 inning. They can't have that happen in the 9th inning, or Hocking won't have a chance for 6 hits in 6 at-bats. Do you see that crater at the bottom of the moon? That's where Mark McGwire's home run landed, his 3rd blast against the Philadelphia Phillies earlier today as the St. Louis Cardinals beat the Phils.
Kind of broke things up out there, didn't it?
Sure did. He's been hitting that far.
Anybody have any doubt, though, really, about McGwire? I mean, health is one thing, obviously. He's got to be in the lineup.
What has he missed? 9-10 games?
Yeah.
He's taken over the major league lead. I'll show you those highlights. There is a smash to short. And there's 1 out. Hey, let's check out Mark McGwire in a Fox Sports Net game break. The St. Louis Cardinals at the Philadelphia Phillies. The story, of course, Big Mac. 3 home runs on the evening. First inning, a 3-run shot off Kurt Schilling to left center. Second inning, a 2-run home run off Schilling. This one to left field. Then in the 8th inning, a 2-run monster off reliever Wayne Gomes. Cards win it 7-2 as Mark McGwire knocks in all 7 runs. 17 home runs.
We'll take a look at Mark McGwire. This equates to 1 every 5.5. Our crackpot mathematicians out there, Matt Lipp, Doug Freeman.
What was Babe Ruth's ratio?
JW, they figured that out.
What was Babe Ruth's
Babe
ratio?
was about 1 every 9. 1 every 10.
1 every 5.5.
5.5.
Wow. Here's Terrence Long. He hit one a long way his second time up, a double off the right field wall.
Last year, Mac hit 65 home runs. He hit 1 every 8 at-bats. This year, last week I did a piece on him. He was just under 1 every 6 at-bats. Now he's at 5.5. I don't know how you get better than that. That's scary.
Yeah, at one time he was down, what, about 5 home runs? People were saying, my goodness, is he going to lose the home run race this year? He is just so big and so strong and so disciplined. I mean, here's a guy who walks about 130, 140 times a year.
That's the key. He doesn't get himself out. A very good eye at home plate.
Travis Miller has been getting the A's out. He has faced 4 retired all 4. The story tonight, Denny Hocking, 5 hits and 5 at-bats, and the number 1 and 2 hitters in the Twins lineup have 9 of their 17 hits. Jock Jones and Denny Hocking. Ground ball hit to second. Cannizzaro eats it up. There's him out. 2 outs. Hey, Saturday, Derek Jeter leads the world champion New York Yankees into Cleveland to take on Manny Ramirez and the Indians. Yankees-Indians, FX Baseball. Saturday at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific. FX marks the game.
And they need Jeter back in that lineup. I guess he's going to try to go this weekend. New York Yankees. Boston kind of sneaking in there.
They are because of Pedro Martinez. Has he given up a run since coming back from suspension?
No, he's on a mission. I don't know. He'll never give up a run again.
I think he's thrown 16 shutout innings. And I liked his comments yesterday as he threw 7 shutout innings against his opponent. He said, you know, I really didn't have it tonight. I didn't feel comfortable at all. Usually you feel that, you hear that from a losing pitcher. He was the winning pitcher and threw 7 shutout innings.
I heard that. I heard his catcher, Scott Hatterberg, say he didn't have his A game, but it was pretty good.
I'll take his B game.
That's scary also.
There's a fastball for a strike. 1 and 2.
Well, the A's haven't had a base runner since Tejada's home run in the 4th inning. That's it.
Just foul. Just as you said that, he lines it sharply. Randy Velarde, who had a 2-run home run earlier in this game, 1 for 3 in the contest.
That's 13 in a row retired from Twins pitching tonight. Since Redmond gave up the home run to Tejada, Redmond settled down, pitched a couple more innings. Take a look at Randy Velarde getting his ball down and in and shooting it down the left field line. Just foul.
By inches. Right on top of it. Ian Laplaw, the third base umpire. Now Miller with the 1-2 pitch to Randy Velarde. Hit to left field. At the wall. Jones has it. Jock has a chance for his 5th hit of the ball game in the top of the 9th inning. But Minnesota must get at least one guy on to get Hocking to the plate to go for 6 hits for the first time in his career. 9th inning, the Minnesota Twins with a 10-5 lead over Oakland. Our national sports report comes your way right after this ball game. All the scores and highlights from the major leagues. And we'll also take a look at Mark McGwire going against Kurt Schilling. Flyers Devils game 3. And Tanya to take a line from the 70s, because that's a theme tonight. Make peace, not war.
Unbelievable.
Tanya.
Not really surprised, are you?
I want to check out the National Sports Report to find out what's going on.
Oh, boy.
Well, here we go. Our goal in this game to see Denny Hocking come up one more time.
Always has something to do with cars, or, you know.
Pipes. This ground ball hit to Randy Velarde. 1 out.
You check your Hubcap there?
Tanya. It's a 10-5 ball game. Minnesota has the lead. And the executive producers of Fox Sports Net are Arthur Smith and Bill Borson. The coordinating producer for Baseball Thursday is Larry Myers. Tonight's game was produced by Jerry Weinstein and directed by Doug Freeman. Head of field operations is Andrea Jenkins. And our guru of graphics, Matt Lipp. Here's Jay Cannizzaro. 2 hits in the ball game. Single in the 2nd. Single his last at bat. That was the one that got away from Jeremy Giambi that allowed Torrey Hunter to score from first base.
You got to take a strike. You got to get Hocking up there.
Well, they've got a guy with 4 hits coming to the plate. In Jock Jones next. Laced off the glove. There it is. Hocking has a chance if Jones does not hit into a double play.
Right off of McGill. Tejada's tip of the glove right there. Fastball down and away. Cannizzaro was not taking. He said, I got to get a base hit, man. I got the count. I can't worry about Hocking. And he got his hit.
Well, rarely do you.
His third.
Yes. Look at this. The 9, 1, and 2 hitters have 12 hits in the game. 12 of their 18 hits have come from the 9, 1, and 2 spots. You know, rarely do you have individual goals in the game as broadcasters. But Denny Hocking, a former production assistant at Fox Sports Net, you want to see him to get an opportunity to go, just have the chance.
Oh, yeah.
For that 6th hit.
You don't get opportunities like this. There's been a lot of guys that have gone 5 for 5, but you don't get that 6th at bat very often.
There he is, the boss.
He knows it. The intensity.
Twins record is 24 twice. May have been set in the retro 70s when they were leading the league in batting average every single year. That ball shot foul. And it broken back. Hunter grounded out. Cannizzaro singled. Jock Jones trying for his 5th hit. Jock with a single in the 1st. Reached on an error in the 2nd. Singled in the 3rd. In the 6th and in the 7th. So they haven't been able to get this guy out yet. Driven to right field. Giambi runs it down. And here comes our player of the game. The 30-year-old kid from Torrance, California. 52nd round draft choice in 1989 out of El Camino Community College. 5 for 5 tonight. A pair of singles, a double, a home run. I mean, the Twins record set by Kirby Puckett with 6 hits. All of those great hitters in the past. The Tony Olivas, the Rod Carews, the Harmon Killebrews, and now Denny Hocking.
Got a shot.
Let's see if he can.
That was paint.
Let's see if he can send one off the Sports Geniuses sign in left center field and get a triple and have a cycle.
Why not? right. He's got a shot for a cycle as well. He's got 2 doubles, 2 singles, and a home run. That's the tough one. The triple's the tough one.
He's got 2 pair right now. 2 pair, ace high.
For the full house.
And he rips it to left field, and that is barely foul.
I'll tell you what, if it rolls around down there, he's got a shot at the triple, too.
Yeah, Ben Greaves got to do his job of helping him out.
Denny Hocking locked in. Look at the intensity. Hoping that thing stays fair. Very close. Just hooked this ball about 1.5 foot foul. So close. Try it again.
Last time a player had 6 hits, Edgardo Alfonso of the Mets, last August 30th. The 1-2 pitch. Slice to right field. He's seeing the ball well, because he's hitting it, the good part of the bat, even when he's late. He's been early, he's been late.
Well, truthfully, they haven't made too many good pitches against him, too. But to his credit, he's hitting them, and you got to say that. Getting the ball up against him, he's been smoking it.
It's been almost 15 years since the Twins had their last cycle. Now Sabor brings it. Hocking tanks up and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He even knows how to take a pitch the right way. Look at this guy.
Just turn your shoulder in.
Turn into it the right way. Too many guys are worried about getting hit in the head. They don't know how to get their head out of the way. That's how you do it.
Way inside. Sabor must throw him a pitch he can hit. Here's a guy with a 5-for-5 game. I was in Cincinnati when Pete Rose was going for his 4,000th hit, and he was a Montreal Expo, and he walked 4 times in the game. And oh my goodness, did the Riverfront Stadium crowd go nuts, because he would get the hit somewhere else. The 3-2. He chases it and strikes out. Denny Hocking, though, what a game. 5 for 6. And right now he's got to go to short and play some defense, as Minnesota takes a 10-5 lead into the bottom of the 9th inning here in Oakland, California. 5 lead over the Oakland Athletics, and Denny Hocking with a career game, a pair of singles, pair of doubles, and a solo home run. Now he'll settle back on defense, try and help his pitcher, Travis Miller, close out this 10-5 lead. Jason Giambi will start it. The guy who leads the American League in runs driven in with 47. Came into this game red hot. 10 for his last 22, but is 0 for 3 in the contest with a strikeout, and he fouls that one out of play left side. Miller has been sharp. He came on replacing starting pitcher Mark Redmond in the 7th, and they haven't touched him.
Yeah, he really has got a nice hard slider going down and away. Big break to it. Very tough on the left-handed hitters, and the Oakland A's have a few of them in the lineup.
Inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Oakland Athletics came in just a game and a half out of first place in the American League West. But if they fall here, they will have lost their last 3. Fouled off. And they led late in the games in the last 2. I told you earlier that Art Howe has seen some mighty painful losses in the last 2 weeks. 6 of the last 7 losses by 1 run. And in all 6 of those losses, they had leads. That ball stroked well towards right center field, and it will drop. Corey Hunter plays it on a hop and holds Giambi to a single. Here's our Nissan play of the game. Denny Hocking, 5th at bat. Man on base. Gets a 2-run home run over the left field wall over Ben Greaves. And look at the way he congratulates with his teammates. He's a piece of work. Off the glove of Corey Huskey into left field.
Travis Miller's done a really good job since he's come on in relief. 14 men in a row. Well, a couple of base hits now. That just gets over the glove of Hocking. And those 14 in a row are not all Travis Miller. Mark Redmond, after giving up the home run to Tejada, had half of those, but Miller could be getting tired, and the bullpen's up and raring to go for the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, Travis last year really a one-inning guy in 52 games, only threw 49 innings. Eddie Guardado, Bob Wells up in the Twins bullpen. Wells has been their closer. He has a team-high 3 saves.
Well, the reason Tom Kelly went longer with Travis Miller is because he was just setting them up and setting them down so easily. But now, in a 5-run game, you can't take any chances against the Oakland A's. The way they can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
And Ben Greed will come to the plate. Greed with terrific power, 7 home runs this year, blasted 28 last season, and now he has to count his way. 2 balls, no strikes. Nothing's easy for Tom Kelly in 2000. They came in at 17 and 24, but they played well this year. Last year, 63 and 97, last in the Central. I thought Greed might take a strike, but he swings and fouls it back 2-1.
Well, Ben was looking for one pitch down the 2-0 count right there. Travis Miller had to come fastball, and Ben was right on it.
Hit to center field. Hunter runs it down. Giambi goes back to second base. A long out for Travis Miller, but it is the first of the bottom of the 9th inning. This guy never changes his expression, whether it's a home run or a strikeout. And that's rare to see with a player as young as Ben Greed.
Well, he's been around the game since he was born. His father, Tom Greed, former GM of the Rangers, and nothing phases him. And now Tom Kelly is going to come out and bring in his right-hander to face Miguel Tejada. No chance for a 3-run home run off the lefty. If he's going to do it, he's going to have to do it off of Bob Wells.
So Bob Wells comes out of the bullpen. Last year, Mike Tremblay was their closer, but he's now in Baltimore. So Wells is the man, and he takes over from Miller as the Twins trying to hold on to a 5-run lead. Oakland trying to come back in the bottom of the 9th inning. They will send Miguel Tejada to the plate. He has had one shining moment offensively in this ball game, and it came in inning number 4. Redmond brings it. Tejada swings and sends it deep. And we have Miguel Tejada with home run number 6.
Tom Kelly, respecting his power, makes him hit off a right-hander, Bob Wells. Wells got a good fastball in the 90s, low 90s. And no chances that Tom Kelly want to take to get this game closer than it is right now. 2 men on in a 10-5 game.
You saw that record, 0-4. He not only has 3 saves, but he also has 3 blown saves. And Matt Stairs comes up. Matt Stairs launches one high in the air, right field. Just missed it. Lawton will pull it down. Giambi tags and goes to third. But 2 outs now.
Well, Art Howe countered. He took Tejada out of the game. A little bit of a surprise right there. That's a fastball right there for Matt. That's exactly where he likes it. Wow. Middle in. He just missed it. Got underneath it. Long, swooping swing right there. Going for the pump. Missed it.
So Art Howe will send up his final left-hander, Jeremy Giambi. Minnesota's Tom Kelly is hoping it's a final left-hander. 2 outs now, bottom of the 9th inning. Minnesota by 5. Giambi has singled his first time up, flied out, struck out. Ball 1. Bob Wells came back last year with a pretty good season after a rough 98. Went 8-3 last year with a 3.81 earned run average for a TK. through 87 innings for Minnesota. Line drive right to the shortstop, Denny Hocking. Who else should make the catch but the guy who was named our player of the game by getting 2 singles, 2 doubles, a home run, and helping the Twins to a 10-5 victory over the Oakland Athletics. Quite a game by that kid. Well, by Minnesota and Tom Kelly.
No doubt, the top of the order getting 9 hits combined, and actually with Cannizzaro at the bottom of the order, there's 12 hits combined from the 9, 1, and 2 guys. And I really thought Redmond did a nice job after Tejada tied it in the 4th with a home run to make it 5-5, and he set up 8 men down in a row. The bullpen did a good job, Miller, and then the final out. But that man right there, Denny Hocking, the player of the game.
And Redmond goes to 3-0 on the year. So that's it from Oakland, California. Be sure to tune into FX Baseball Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern as the Cleveland Indians take on the New York Yankees. Baseball Thursday continues next week. It's Toronto, Boston, or Pittsburgh and Arizona. Check your local listings. Stay right here. The National Sports Report is next in most areas. For Kevin Kennedy, I'm Steve Physiak. Good night, everyone.